Hello, is my slides visible? Sumanto, please confirm it.
No, sir.
Not visible.
Not visible. Yes, visible, sir.
Not visible.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you. So, welcome back, participants. Today is the third day of our FDP. So, you know that the last 2 days we had a successful sessions, very good talks given by experts from IITs and all. So, today we welcome our new speaker from IIT Hyderabad, Professor Ashok Kumar Das. So Dr. Ashok Kumar Das is currently working as an associate professor in the Center for Security Theory and Algorithmic Research, Department of Computer Science and Engineering of IIT Hyderabad, India. Prior to this, he held academic position as assistant professor in the Center for Security Theory and Algorithmic Research of IIT Hyderabad, India, and also assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Bhubaneswar, India. He received his PhD degree in Computer Science and Engineering from the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, India, in 2008. He received the MTech degree in Computer Science and Data Processing from the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, India, in 2000. He also received the MSc degree in Mathematics from the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, in 1998. Prior to joining PhD, he worked with CDOT, Center for Development of Telematics, a premier telecom technology center of Government of India at New Delhi, from March 2000 to January 2004. During that period, he worked there as a research engineer on various projects in the field of SS7, signaling system number 7 protocol stack, GSM global system for mobile communication, and GPRS. So we welcome you, sir, for this session, and we thank you at first because of your presence, and we are happy to have you with us. So I'm privileged to felicitate you virtually
Yeah.
with Gamocha, Gamocha, and bouquet. So thank you,
Yeah, so
sir.
thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the virtual
So now,
invitation.
now you can start your session.
Yeah. Sure, okay. Now I'm sharing my slides, and the probably that I'll stop my video because of bandwidth issues, other things participants may have. Yeah, so once again for nice introductions about me. And today, in the session, so I'll talk about basic cryptographic primitives, mainly focused on elliptic curve-based cryptography and its digital signatures. And also, I'll give some of the demonstrations, online demonstrations, how these primitives will work. So the main motivations of this session is to boost up that about the blockchain technologies applications, and we'll see in the second session that how these cryptographic primitives will be useful in building blockchain technologies and applications. So about me, so the I did my that PhD, MTech, and MSc from IIT Kharagpur, and my research interest has mainly span on cryptography, network security, and system security, and also that recently I work on blockchain as well as artificial intelligence, machine learning based security and that algorithms. Also that I worked in various security domains, for example, Internet of Things, Internet of Vehicles, Internet of Drones, smart grid, smart city, and so on. And finally, that I also worked on the intrusion detections and preventions mechanisms. So to detect malicious nodes in the network. So some of my highlights are here. So I have around 273 the papers, mostly on the journal forums. 232 journal papers are there, and number of IEEE the venues, transactions, journals, or magazine papers around 86. So you can get my information from my website, and the some of the statistics are there. So there are about 9,500 citations are there, which H index 57 and item index 166. And the H index is very difficult to achieve because it measures that at least a H publication should have H citations. And I and my the research team at IIT Hyderabad published in several top venues. For example, IEEE transactions on information forensic security, which is regarded as one of the toughest, the top security journals. IEEE transactions on dependable secure computing. Apart from that, we published in the several IEEE transactions. For example, IEEE transactions on network science and engineering, IEEE transactions on intelligent transportation systems, and so on. Also, that currently that I involved in several the journal editorial board members. IEEE System Journals is one of the very prestigious system related journals, which also consider security aspects of the systems. So I am one of the associate editor there. Then I also involved as editor for Journal of Network and Computer Applications, Elsevier, Computer Communications, and very recently I also been included as an associate editor in the Journal of Cloud Computing Speaker. So apart from that, I also worked in other guest editorial articles from example, from Elsevier Computers and Electrical Engineering, ICT Express, uh, wireless communications and mobile computing, and so on. So some of the achievements are there. So there is an article in the Times of India newspaper which was written by me, that why we need blockchain technologies very seriously, and how that China is much ahead of us and India needs to catch up. So this is one of the article which was published in Times of India newspaper on 6th May 2021. So if you are interested, you can go to this link and you can have the article. And recently also, I am one of the advisory, the board members of Third International Congress on Blockchain and Applications, which is going to be held in Spain in this 2021. Also, that I have been included in the subject-wise ranking of top 2% scientists from India, and top H index for that is maintained by Guide to Research, and so on. So apart from that, I have very good international research collaborations. For example, Professor Mauro Conti is there from Italy, Professor Willy Susilo from Australia, uh, Professor Sarelli as well as Raymond Chu are there from US University, and Professor Niato is there from NTU, that is Singapore. So like that, so I have also collaborations with, for example, Mohammed is a at he's one of the very good security expert fellow, Professor Joel, he's also security expert fellow, and so on. So the today that in this session, so the session is divided into the three parts here. So in the part one, I'll talk about principles of public key cryptography, and also some of the case studies on RSA and defilement key exchange protocols with examples and demos. Then in the part two, I covered the cryptographic hash algorithms and their properties. And finally, in the third part, I'll cover that elliptic-based cryptographic mechanisms. So let me to go very quickly and briefly. So assuming that some of are new in the cryptographic field, so therefore the question is that why do we need cryptography and what is the importance of cryptographic techniques in network communications. So the let us consider a two-party communications model. So here that there are two users, say user A, popularly known as Alice, and user B, popularly known as the Bob. And Alice wants to make communications in such a way that in between the communications, no third party, for example, that is known as the adversary or attacker or intruder, should be able to know the secret message that is Alice is sending to the Bob. So hence the question is that since the channel is not secure channel that in which communications takes place between the Alice and Bob, uh, question is that can Alice communicate securely secret message to the Bob? So answer is yes. So we are having cryptographic techniques, and cryptography is defined as the set of mathematical primitives which will provide the security of the systems. So here the question is that Alice wants to make secure communications over the public channel. So public channel means that a channel in which adversary, that is which is neither the receiver neither the sender, who can eavesdrop or read the communications messages, or even can modify delete the message content also. So based on the capability of an adversary, that adversary can be classified into the two categories. So first category is known as the passive adversary. So passive adversary is an adversary who is only capable for reverse dropping or reading the informations from a channel, and beyond that it can't do anything. Now the question is that since a passive adversary is only reading the informations or intercepting the informations and not doing anything, in general it is very hard to detect the presence of a passive adversary. So here is the active adversary is much serious because that adversary is not only able to transmit or read the message content, but can also alter the message content, delete the informations in the message, or even insert the fake informations in the message. So therefore it is very very dangerous once we have active attack, where the attacker is not only able to eavesdrop the communications in between the sender and receiver, but can also alter, modify, or update the message contents in between the communications. So therefore that the question is that we need to make the secure communications between Alice and Bob, and this is done by the use of mathematical techniques known as the cryptographic techniques. So what does it mean that suppose Alice or user A has a plain text message in. So what that Alice will do, instead of sending the plain text message in, it will send some transform message known as the ciphertext. So that is obtained by transferring the message M with the help of a secret information known as the encryption key, and that encryption key will help to transform the plain text message M to ciphertext message. Then instead of sending the plain text message, that Alice is sending now the ciphertext message to the user B of Bob. Now what Bob will do, that Bob will apply exactly the reverse transformations of the encryption functions, which is known as the decryption transformations or decryption functions. Then the ciphertext will be taken as the input to the decryption functions. Of course, it also requires another matching secret information known as the decryption key, that will convert or recover the plain text message, original plain text message, that is M. So in that way, Alice is basically that sending ciphertext instead of the original plain text message. On the other hand, the Bob, having the possessions of ciphertext message, can decrypt with the help of the matching decryption key to recover the original message M. So now the question is that in between the communications adversary is there, adversary can intercept the ciphertext message, and then adversary may try to decrypt the ciphertext message to recover the plaintext message without having the decryption key. So hence, so without having the decryption key D, the problem for adversary to decrypt the ciphertext to recover the original plaintext must be very hard problem or exponential time algorithm problem, which is also known as the NP hard problem. And on the other hand, what you want that for sender and receiver, the problem of encryption and decryption must be the easy problem, or it should be done in the polynomial time, because they have they are matching that cage. So therefore, the question is that in cryptography, generally that encryption and decryption functions, they are declared to be public. So which meaning that the adversary also knows the encryption and decryption algorithms. Therefore, the security of the cryptographic scheme that based on the security of the key that is used in the communications, either encryption key or decryption key. Therefore, we are telling that there is a very strong relationship between the key used in the communications and the corresponding security. So the security lies in the keys uh, can is presented here with the help of a kind of the attack known as the brute force attack. So what brute force attack is telling that, suppose you are using the 3-bit key size, so therefore your total number of keys in the key space will be 0 1 up to 7, 8 keys will be there, 2 power 3, 8 keys will be there, possible keys will be there in the key space. Now what attacker can do, that attacker can try to decrypt the ciphertext with the help of each and every key in the key space to see whether attacker is able to get the corresponding plaintext message or not. So that attack is known as the brute force attack. So of course that brute force attack complexity is very high, because it directly that depends on the size of the key space you are using. So hence, if you are using a key bit size of n bits, therefore your brute force attack requires order of 2 power n complexity, because you are having a total of 2 power n keys in the key space. Now that given the current scenario, we are having the supercomputing facility. So assume that attacker has a decryption device which can decrypt say 10 power 6 decryptions per microsecond. Now, if somebody plans to use the say 32-bit key size, then with the 32-bit key size, that number of total number of keys in the key space will be 2 power 30, which is around to 4.3 into 10 power 9 possible keys. But the time to decrypt the ciphertext or derive the keys will take only for the adversary 2.15 milliseconds with such powerful machines. Now, if you that increase the key size to say, for example, 56-bit key size, with 56-bit key size, your possible number of alternative keys will be 2 for 56, that is 7.2 into 10 for 16 possible keys will be there. That will take around say 10 hours. Then if we further increase a key size say to 128 bits key size, then with 128-bit key size, the total number of keys in the key space will be huge, that is 3.4 into 10 power 30 possible key will be there, and that will take exponential time algorithms 5.4 into 10 power 18 years. Hence that you can see that easily you can observe that there is a very strong relationship between the key size used in the communications versus that uh, breaking the system's security by the adversary. So if the key bit size that increases, then also security also increases. But again, one thing should be noted that say all the devices that we use, or in applications they may not be resource rich. For example, if you want to use a IoT device, that IoT device may resource constant, they can't do so much computations. So hence we can't use unnecessarily that very large key bit size, because that will increase the encryption and decryptions time more. uh, Hence, there is a better trade-off among the key bit size you are using in the crypto systems versus speed of the encryption and decryption algorithms. Say, for example, that if that our applications allows that sufficient security with 128-bit key size, then probably we should go with the only 128-bit key size and not for 160-bit higher key bit size, because that will unnecessarily delay your encryption and decryption algorithms. Now, based on the that encryption and decryption that is used in the communications, that could be classified into two categories. One is known as the symmetric encryptions, which is also known as the conventional encryptions, or that one key encryptions, and so on, so on. So in this case, that it is assumed that prior to communications between sender and receiver, let sender and receiver say share a secret key and KK. And we give one of the example development key exchange algorithms, how to establish a shared secret key between them prior to communications. That will be done with the help of the public key encryptions, public key cryptography techniques. So assume that both the parties, sender and receiver, they are sharing the same secret key K. Now, what sender will do, that sender will encrypt the message X with the help of the shared key K. Now the ciphertext that Y for the original plaintext message X will be transmitted to the receiver. So what receiver will do, that receiver will apply the decryptions transformations with the help of the same secret key K to recover the original plaintext message X. Now on the other hand, that cryptanalyst or attacker is there, uh, whose task is to evaluate of the ciphertext message Y, and also uh, attacker will try to derive what is the original plaintext message and what is the key used in the communications. This is very important second thing, derivations of key, because if an adversary can derive the key, then whatever that secure communications takes place between the sender and receiver with the help of the same key, all the ciphertext can be decrypted in offline mode by the adversary. Now we'll talk about other kind of cryptographic techniques, which is known as the public key based cryptographic techniques. So what happens in the public key based encryptions? So in this case, that sender and receiver, they initially will not trust each other, and therefore instead of sharing any key between them, all the individual entity will generate their own pair of keys. One key is known as the private key, another known as the public key. So therefore, the private key will be kept secret to a party who generated the key, and the public key will be known to every other participants in the network, including the attacker. And of course, there is a question is that how to generate the private and public key pairs, and this problem is also very challenging. We'll see one of the RSA algorithms uh, where private and public keys are generated in such a way that uh, even adversary knows the public key, it is very difficult to derive the private key. Now let us assume that Bob Bob wants to make a secure communications with Alice. Now, say Bob has a public key ring. Say, for example, it has the public key of Joy, public key of Mike, public key of Alice, and public key of Ted. So, what that Bob will do, Bob will pick up the Alice public key. Then it will basically encrypt the plain text message with the help of some encryption algorithms known as the RSA algorithms we'll talk now. With the help of the Alice public key, then it will transmit the ciphertext message to the Alice. Now Alice is the only fellow who can decrypt the ciphertext because Alice has her own private key. So therefore Alice will apply the private key to decrypt the ciphertext message in order to recover what is the original plaintext message the Bob is communicating with the Alice. Now that in summary that what we are going to talk about here, that symmetric versus public encryptions. So one is known as the difference with respect to the basically that functionality or mechanisms. So first is that in case of the symmetric encryptions, same algorithms can be used with the same key for encryption and decryptions purpose. So whereas in case of the public encryptions, one algorithm is used for encryptions and decryptions with a pair of keys, one for encryptions and other for decryption purpose. Now you have seen that in case of the symmetric encryptions, sender and receiver must share the same secret key as well as algorithms. Now in case of the public key encryptions, the sender and receiver must uh, have that one of the masked key, uh, not the same one. Now let us talk about the in terms of security the security in terms of symmetric and public key encryptions. In case of the symmetric encryptions, the shared key must be kept secret by the sender and receiver. So in this case, sender and receiver, they are sharing the same secret key and it is not revealed to anybody else. Now, in case of the public key crypto systems, only the private key needs to be kept secret to the that is the key generator, that entity, and public key can be each node can be known to anybody, including attacker. Now, second thing is that uh, it must be impossible or impractical. That means that NP hard problem to decipher a message if attacker has only the ciphertext message from the communications. And similarly for that public key setting, the same thing is there. If attacker knows only the ciphertext message, it should be very hard for him to decipher the message. Now, next is that since the algorithms are public in cryptographic mechanisms for criticism purpose, attacker knows also the your algorithms. So therefore, even attacker has the knowledge of algorithms. For example, the data encryption standard algorithm or advanced encryption standard algorithms in case of the symmetric encryptions. And even that attacker will have the several plain ciphertext message. Those knowledge should be insufficient to determine the key, that is the symmetric key used in the communications. So whereas in case of the public key encryption setting, adversary will have the knowledge of the algorithms, and adversary also knows the public key of the receiver, and even the adversary will have the ciphertext from the evolved of communication channels. These problems must be NP hard problem to determine the what is the decryption key used in the communications, or that is the private key of the receiver. Now, with this little background, so let us talk about first a case study, which is known as the published crypto systems, that RSA algorithms. Now, the RSA algorithms was invented by three greatest scientists, that Raibesh, Samir, and Adleman at MIT, USA in 1978. And this is one of the practical public key based crypto system that was invented in the time of 1978. and their approach is based on elementary number theory concept. And prior to that people thought that number theory is just mathematical, that only that theorem and lemmas kind of things, there is no applications. But they have intelligibly that applied how that elementary number theory can be applied in computer science for practical applications. Due to their pioneer work, they also received the Turing Awards, which is equivalent to Nobel Prize in computer science field. Now, one of the characteristics is that RSA, that algorithm is a block cipher. So, block cipher meaning that, so suppose you are having a very long message. That long message will be uh, broken down into the several the blocks of equal size blocks. Of course, the last block would not be of equal size. You need to pad with the necessary number of zeros to make it of the same block size. Then each of the block will be encrypted to produce the corresponding ciphertext block. And on the other hand, that ciphertext blocks will be received by the receiver. Receiver will sequentially decrypt the ciphertext blocks to have the corresponding the plaintext blocks. Then the plaintext blocks will be merged sequentially to recover the original long plaintext message that sender has sent to the receiver. Now, in case of the RSA algorithms, there is a number, something known as the modulus number n, and we will see that n is nothing but product of two large prime numbers p and q. We'll talk about now. So here that the block size will be value will be in between 0 and n minus 1. Now, a typical size of modulus n must be that 1024 bits or nearly 309 decimal digits in order to provide the sufficient security in the systems. So you can refer to the, this is original paper of RSA algorithms, Rives, Summit and Element, the method of obtaining digital signatures on public key systems. It was published in the Communications of the ACM in 1978. Now let us talk about RSA algorithms here. Any public key based crypto systems will have the three phases. So first phase is known as the key generation phase, which will allow or permit an entity to generate its own private key public key pairs. Then the private will be kept secret, public will be made public to everybody. And in the encryption algorithms or encryption phase, that you will have the plain text message, then you use the public key of the receiver, encrypt the message and send to the receiver. On the other hand, we are having the decryption phase, where decryption phase will allow to get the original plain text message from the received ciphertext with the help of the private key of the receiver. Now, this is one of the that interesting that key generations algorithms which uses number theory based preliminary that concept. So where that in key generation, suppose that Alice and Bob's they are involved, each entity say Alice will generate its own pair of keys, private key and public key pairs. So for that purpose, so what entity will do that it will select first two large prime numbers p and q, and they are distinct. So if you look at the some of the properties of the prime numbers, that a prime number is a number which is divisible by one and itself. That means that the it does not have any trivial non-trivial divisors rather than its trivial divisors plus minus one and plus minus that number itself. And if you look at the series of primes, the two is only the even primes, all other primes are odd primes. And if we that progress the series uh, that in the long chain, that you will see that there is a large discontinuity or gap between two primes when the prime numbers are very very large. So there is a very the good algorithms, probabilistic algorithm is there, something known as the Miller Robin primality test algorithms is there. which can check in polynomial time whether the odd large numbers they are prime or not. So let us assume that you have applied the Miller-Robin primary test algorithms to select that randomly two large primes P and Q. Then what you will do that you compute a modulus, something known as the n, which is the product of two prime numbers P and Q. Then we are having something known as the Euler's phi functions or Euler's twisting functions, which will equal to that phi of n is equal to P minus 1 into Q minus 1. So therefore, given the prime number P and prime number Q, since P, Q are very large, so P and Q must be odd. So hence P minus 1 is even and Q minus 1 is even. As a result, phi of n is even number. Then you are selecting an odd that integer known as the public exponent e randomly in between the interval 1 and phi of n, such that the selected e is relatively prime to phi of n. That means that greatest common divisor between e and phi of n is equal to 1. Now, if you can readily that observe that since phi of n is even number, that e must be an odd selected number. Otherwise, the GCD of e and phi of n will not be 1. So once you selected a public exponent, then you compute the corresponding that private exponent known as the d by applying the Euclid's GCD algorithms to compute that that is the multiplicity inverse of a modulo phi of n. Now what we are telling that then after that say Alice say publish the public key as the e comma n and keeps the private key as the d comma n. Now that noted that we are declaring n not phi of n or p and q, they are secret. Hence uh, given n, can you derive p and q from n? And if you can derive p and q from n, then deriving phi of n is easy. Once you derive phi of n, then you can always compute the d private key from e. But this problem becomes very intractable or hard problem or computationally NP hard problem, in particular when PQ are very large. For example, if PQ are chosen to be 512 bits prime numbers, then this problem is open problem. There is no efficient algorithms to solve or to factor the number in into P and Q. Hence, you can't get phi of n from n. Therefore, you can't derive the private key D from the public key. As a result, we are talking about here that the RSA algorithm security is based on a computationally hard problem known as the integer factorization problem, which tells that if you are given an basically that composite number n, can you factor n into the two prime factors p and q? And this problem is very hard problem when n is very large. Let us assume that we are having the public key and private key, and public key is made public and private key is kept private to fellow who has generated the key. Now in the next page, suppose that there is a sender who wants to uh, encrypt a message with the help of the public key of the receiver. So in this case, what we are doing here that you are giving a message, for example, this is FDP at in IT Silchar. This will be first encoded to the numerical value. Then that numerical value will be divided into block size, which numerical value will be less than n. Suppose for a plain text message, we are having say single plain text message. For example, we are talking about that m, whose value is less than n. Then what you will do that you apply the modular exponentiations m power e modulo n to compute the ciphertext message. Now this problem is also not so easy problem when M E are large. You can't apply the traditional modular exponentiation algorithms. There is again an efficient algorithm is that they are known as the repeated square and multiply algorithms, where you are first converting the exponent e into the binary, then you are computing the powers. So that could be done in the polynomial time. So therefore, the problem of encryption is now easy problem given the repeated square and multiply algorithms. Now suppose that Bob has sent the ciphertext to the Alice. Alice has her own private key d comma n. Therefore, Alice what will do that it will do the ciphertext power d modulo n. Then it will get the original plaintext message. So mathematically, that you'll see that c power d is nothing but the m power e modulo n power d modulo n, which is equal to m power e d modulo n. Now, if you notice that d is nothing but the multiplicative inverse of modulo n, therefore ed equal to 1 modulo phi of n. So hence you can write the ed equal to 1 plus k phi n for some integer k. So therefore it becomes m power 1 plus k phi n, and there is a theorem known as the Euler's theorems. That theorem will derive that this value is nothing but m, and m power phi of n is equal to 1. That's why this term becomes 1. So this will be m. Now let us talk about the security of the RSA algorithms. We already talked about the security of the RSA algorithms with respect to the mathematical attacks, something known as the integer factorization problem. Now that there are two other types of attacks could be possible. So first is known as the brute force attack. So where this attack will involve trying all possible private keys, attacker can guess it, but this problem is very hard problem because D and E, they are of say 1024 bits key size. It is very hard to guess by any adversary exactly that private key. So another that attack is something known as the timing attack, which also known as the power analysis attacks or side channel attacks. For example, say the attacker can measure that how much time is required for encrypting a plaintext message, how much time is required for decrypting a ciphertext message, and by measuring the encryption and decryption time, there are some attacks, something known as the timing attacks, which can derive the uh, key that is used in the communications. But in case of the RSA algorithms, this attack is not possible because this timing attack is only feasible for a very small exponent. But if once the exponent is very large, the timing attacks are not valid. So hence, majorly that security of the RSA algorithms depends on mathematical attack, something known as the integer factorization problem. Okay, and in order to make the integer factorization problem to be a difficult problem, that you must select that in to be 1024 bits numbers or 204 bits number. Now let us take one example here. Suppose that in a communications, Alice and Bob, they want to communicate securely with the help of the RSA-based crypto systems. And suppose that Alice has received ciphertext message from the Bob, and ciphertext blocks, they are created with the help of the public key as follows. So this is the first ciphertext block, second ciphertext block, third ciphertext block, fourth, fifth, and sixth ciphertext block. Then we need to that Alice needs to derive what is the original plaintext message that Bob has sent to her. So let us assume that a standard encoding procedures has been applied. For example, A is mapped to 0, 1 numerical value, B is 0 to Z is 26, comma is 27, full stop is 28, and so on, and blank space is 0, 0. So with this example, that you will see that Alice has the private key D comma N, which is nothing but 7 comma 1643. and you are given the ciphertext blocks as follows: C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, and C6. Now, what Alice will do that each and every ciphertext blocks will be decrypted first to get the corresponding plaintext blocks, say M1, M2, M3, M3, M4, M5, M6. Then all the plaintext blocks will be merged together sequentially to get the original plaintext message. Now, in this case, the first plaintext block, so M1 will be derived as C1 for D modulo N, which is equal to 1451 power 7 modulo 1643. Now, if we use the repeated square and multiply algorithms method, this value will give the 180. So, similarly, we'll get the second plaintext blocks M2 as the 516, M3 as follows. So hence the original plaintext message using the decoding methods given here as follows: M equal to M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, and 6. Now we'll group the two digits. Group will do it 18, then 05, 16, 12, then 25, 00, 14, 15, and 23. Now, if you see the decoding techniques, it is there that your 05 will be basically E, 05 will be basically here E, 18 will be R, P will be 16, L will be 12, Y will be 25, and blank space will be 00 here. 14 will be N, the O will be the 15, and W will be 23. Therefore, this is the message that Bob has sent to Alice, that reply now. And this is how basically your RSA based crypto systems that works. Now we'll take one of the demo here, that online demo, uh, how in practice in network devices that RSA encryption and decryption works. So in this demo that will give that how to generate the private key public key pairs, then encryptions of a message and decryptions of a message. So please, can somebody can confirm whether you are able to view this web page or not?
Yes, sir. It is so.
It is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. So now let us assume that we are using, say, the 1024 bits of RSA key size. That means that it will produce 1024 bits public key and private key pairs as follows. Now let us encrypt the two RSA encryptions. So for encryptions, that the sender will use this public key, and for decryptions, that receiver will use the private key. Now let us type a message here. Say for example, say this is FDP, say at say NIT Silchar. So if you see that it generates the output as the basically something known as the uh, ciphertext. Now, given the ciphertext, and if you apply the private key, we should have this clear text, this one. So therefore, decrypt this RSA algorithms. So it has taken the ciphertext as one, and it will apply the private key. Then it has given the original plaintext message. This is FDP at NIT Silchar. Okay. So similar situations happens if you even use that are 204 bits the key size, then your 204 bits key will be generated here. Again, that if you type say this is FDP say at NIT Silchar, message. Then here output size is the long one because that is the 204 bits that our ciphertext. And if you decrypt that, you should get the same plain text. So this is FDP at NIT Silchar. Yeah, so do you have any questions up to this point? Anybody has any questions? Do you have any questions?
Participants, if you have any question, please ask. Okay, sir, you can go ahead. Sir, please go ahead.
Anybody, any questions?
Anybody is having any question? Sir, one participant has written a question on chat box.
Yeah, so the one question is that RSA is a public key crypto systems that is widely used for secure data transmissions. It is also one of the oldest. What is the new one? Yeah. So of course that RSA is one of the very old algorithms, and also one of the drawback is there it consumes a lot of bandwidth when that you don't have that much resource. For example, for sufficient security, if you want to use RSA algorithms, the ciphertext it will produce as the 1024 bits ciphertext. Your bandwidth that transmitting 1024 bits, the bandwidth will be more. So instead of that, that we are having an alternative of the RSA algorithms known as the elliptic curve based crypto systems, where we'll see that in case of the elliptic curve based crypto systems, the key size is much smaller, that is 160-bit key size. Security will be equivalent security of the RSA of 1024 bits key size. So in that case, your bandwidth of ciphertext that is produced by the elliptic curve cryptography is much lesser than the RSA crypto systems, and hence that it provides that better that management of the bandwidth also very efficient as compared to the RSA algorithms. So therefore, the answer is that yes, uh, we'll have the elliptic curve based crypto systems. So second is that is quantum computing a threat to RSA? Any classical public key-based crypto systems is the threat to quantum computing, because once you have a quantum computing, that its computation power is so high that even that 204 bits that integer factorations will be very easy. Therefore, once quantum computing has come in the market, therefore we need to modify classical algorithms, and that will be a challenging task. Your key bit size will increase automatically to larger one. Yes, that is quantum computing will be threat to RSA. Even any crypto systems, classical crypto systems, that will be threat to quantum computing. Okay, so I don't think that any other questions is there. So we'll again continue. Yeah. Yeah. So should we continue now?
Yes, sir. You could please continue.
Okay. Now that we'll talk about another variant of public key-based crypto systems, which is popularly known as the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol. So the Martin Hellman was in that time professor or supervisor of the Wilfred Diffie during his PhD time. So they invented a nice algorithms which will allow any two parties which have never communicated earlier, but to establish a secure secret key among them, symmetric secret key among them, so that they can use that secret key for their secure communications with the help of the symmetric based crypto systems known as the encryption and decryption algorithms. So therefore, we are talking about now here that different key exchange algorithms, which is also sometimes known as the exponential key exchange algorithms because it is based on the modular exponentiations, or it is popularly known as the Diffie-Hellman key exchange that protocol. And it is the first practical solutions for to the secret key distributions problem practically with the help of the public key based crypto systems. And for this also work they received the Turing award, SM Turing award for this work. And this is the paper that you should read, this one, WDP and Hillman, new directions in cryptography, that was published in IEEE transactions on information theory in 1976. And you will see that this protocol works only when in the presence of the passive adversary or attacker, and it is not secure against the active adversary active attack known as the man in the middle attack. And also that will give that how to remedy man in the middle attack in this protocol also. Now let us talk about this protocol here. So prior to communications, that both sender and receiver they agree on the same common public global elements. One is known as the Q, which is a sufficiently large prime number. So therefore, if it requires selections of a large prime number Q, then once you are having a prime number Q, then uh, you need to select a primitive root of Q. So what is the primitive root of Q tells that uh, if you compute the powers of alpha, that means that alpha power 1 modulo Q, alpha square modulo Q, and so on, alpha power Q minus 1 modulo Q, all these computed numbers would be distinct, except the last number will be 1, which is known as the multiplicative identity in the finite field, that is ZQ. Then we are telling that alpha is a primitive root of Q. Say for example, if you take one of the example here, uh, then you'll see as follows. So are you able to see this one? Anybody? So let q equal to say 5.
Yes, sir.
Let q equal to 5, and we are selecting say uh, alpha say alpha equal to 2. Now we'll show that alpha is a primitive root of q. So for that purpose, what we'll do that we'll first compute 2 power 1, say modulo that q, that is 5, that is equal to basically 2. 2 modulo 5 is 2. Then 2 square, that modulo 5. If you compute that, is will be 2 parts will be 4. 4 modulo 5 is remainder is 4. When 4 is divided by 5. Then 2 power 3, that modulo 5, then it will give the 8 modulo the 5 is 3. Then 2 power 4, essentially 2 power 5 minus 1 actually, the modulo 5, which will be equal to 8 modulo 16 modulo 5, that is 1. So therefore, if you see that the computed powers 2 power 1, 2 square, 2 power 3, 2 power 4, they are all distinct. And last one is the one that is known as the multiplicative identity. Multiplicative, that is identity in finite field, that is known as the Z, basically the 5. So hence the 2 is a primitive root of q. So in this way that actually you are calculating a primitive root. So once it is done, so then what we are doing here, uh, that global elements, that is q and alpha, they are publicly that known to each other. সাড়ে 11টায় তোমাকে মেল করেছিলাম। Now suppose that two users are there, user A and user B. They will they establish a secret key among them. So for that purpose, let the user A will start generating a key. So pair of keys. So one is known as the private key. Let the private key be the XA, that is randomly chosen less than q, and it will calculate the public key as that primitive root alpha power XA mod q using the repeated square and multiply algorithms. Then user A will send the public key to the user B. So on the other hand, what user B will do, that user B, after receiving the public key, it will also select private key XB and compute the corresponding public key YB as the alpha power XB mod q, and it will send the public key to the user A. Now after receiving the public key of user B, it will apply its own private key XA to compute a secret key, which is known as the KAB, which is equal to YB power XA mod q. And also the user B will be able to compute a session key, secret key known as the KBA, using the public key of A with the help of its own private key XP. So YA power XP mod Q, this one. So in summary, what we are seeing that user A will select a private key XA, compute the public key, and public will be sent to the user B. On the other hand, user B will select a private key, compute the public key YB, that is alpha power XP mod Q, send the public key YB to the user A. User A will compute the key KAB, and user B also compute the key KB. And it can be shown that both the computed key KAB and KBA both are same, because KAB equal to YB power XA mod Q, which is YB nothing but alpha power XB mod Q power XA mod Q, which is equal to alpha power XB XA mod Q, and if you simplify, that will be alpha power XA mod Q power XB mod Q, which is nothing but the YA power XB mod Q, which is nothing but the key KBA computed by the user AB. So therefore, interestingly, if you look at those algorithms, both the parties they are communicating over the public channel, but still by exchange of their public keys, they are able to establish a secret key among them. So this is one of the very elegant as well as nice algorithms that was invented by uh, Diffie and Hellman. Now let us take an example here. Suppose that users A and B they agree on Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol with the common prime key equal to 71 and primitive root alpha equal to 7. And suppose user A has the private key XA, then its public key will be YA will be alpha for XA, which is 51. And user B has a private key XB and public key YB will be 4. Then the secret key, the shared each k is given by x ab equal to yb power xa mod q, which is 30, and also the key that is computed by the user b kba, which is equal to yb power x equal to 30. So therefore, if you see that both the parties, user A and user B, they are able to establish the common secret key for their secure communications. Now let us take one online demo here. So the how to generate the primitive root and how to compute the shared session key between parties using the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithms. Why it is not working? So therefore, if you look at that, so for example, here G is nothing but the primitive root and P is nothing but Q prime number. So Alice chose private key less than, say, here Q means P. So let it be say 237 number has been chosen. Say Bob has chosen say 4 6 2 that is the number less than Q. So Alice private key is there and Bob private key is there. So if you compute it, and you will see that Alice public key was there 106, Bob public key was there 364, 367. Then user A or Alice has computed the key using the public key of the Bob or its own private key, that is 300. And also that Bob has computed the key Alice public key power its own private key, that is 106 is the public key of Alice, its own private key is the 462, that is 300. So therefore, in that way, both the parties they are able to establish the secret key between them. And maybe that more practical example, maybe it is here for the big numbers, that is for the small one, and you can try with this example. So here the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithms, these are the big numbers. So G is the primitive root, P is the prime number. So it is taken as the bigger one. Then you are having here private key, public key, all these things. And you will see that they have randomly chosen the private key, public key, and shared key uh, between the sender and receiver will be the both the same thing here. Okay. So this is basically the for practical things. So how that basically that Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithms works with the bigger the number. Now let us move to a an attack on defilement key exchange algorithms, which is known as the man-in-the-middle attack. So what we are telling that if there is a presence of an attacker in the middle, and the attacker is intelligibly that modify the message such that the both the sender and receiver they are fooled with this protocol. So in this case that we are now discussing an attack known as the man-in-the-middle attack. Man-in-the-middle attack is an attack in which between the communications, the attacker on the fly that modifies the message content in such a way that it is treated as valid by the receiver. So for that purpose, suppose Alice that start communicating with the Bob by generating its own private key, computing public key, and public key is sent to the Bob. But in between the communications, what that attacker Eve has done, it has intercept the message public key YA, blocks YA is not sent to the Bob. Instead of that, the Eve will generates its own private key and public key. Then the public key YC will be sent to both the Bob as well as Alice. Now Alice will that Bob will believe that this YC is nothing but YA. It is coming from the Alice. So hence that Alice will Bob will do that Bob will generate some private key. Uh, Also that compute public will be sent to the Alice, but again in between the communications that it will intercept the YA and blocks YA in YA does not is not sent to the Alice. So Alice will understand that or believe that YC is nothing but YB, but not in practice. So as a result, Alice is having the public key YC, believing that YC is nothing but YB. It will use its own private key to compute a key K1. On the other hand, that Bob will that compute a key K2, assuming that YC is nothing but Y power its own private key mod key. So therefore, this in this protocol, the Eve has fooled both the parties because Eve can compute both key K1 and K2 using the both the parties public key using its own private key, and it is forcing to believe that Alice that the K1 is the key shared with the Bob, but not in practice. That is the key shared between the Alice and Eve, and Bob also believe that K2 is the key shared with the Alice, but not in practice. It is the key shared between Bob and Eve. Now, what will happen? Suppose Alice wants to make a communications with the Bob securely. So therefore, Alice will encrypt message with the help of the key K1. Now it will be sent to the Bob. On the middle, again the attacker will intercept that message, can decrypt it because it has the key K1. Therefore, if is able to see the total secret message, and then the message can be again modified or completely fake message can be again encrypted with the key K2. It is sent to the Bob and Bob can decrypt it. So therefore, here the problem is that Eve or attacker has fooled both the parties by creating the two keys instead of a single key. So this is known as the man-in-the-middle attack on the defilement key exchange algorithms. And to remedy this attack, so there is a secure versions of the defilement key exchange protocols that uses the digital certificates. A digital certificate is a digital informations in which the informations are signed with the help of the private key of a trusted party. So in this case, that in both the public key message, the sender and receiver will make their signatures so that in between the communications, the attacker will not be able to change the message content. So that is secure versions of the defilement key exchange algorithms, which is widely used now for establishing symmetric secret key between sender and receiver. So for more that informations, you can look at this book, BA 4000, Cryptography Network Security for this protocol known as the station-to-station key agreement protocol. Okay, so next we'll move very quickly to the cryptography hash functions. Cryptography hash function is an algorithm that will take an arbitrary length input message and will produce always a fixed length output. And one of the property of that cryptographic one function is that it is very very sensitive to small perturbations of an input, which meaning that even there is a single bit change or some bits change in the input that will produce with high probability a change in the hash value. That hash value will be completely random and completely different hash output, even a single bit is changed. And due to that one, that it provides the data integrity, that property, that means that if a message along with the hash value is changed, if attacker change the message content, it will be detected very easily by the recipient side. So mathematically that we can express one way as functions as the it is a functions which will take the any arbitrary length input message, but it will produce a L bits fixed length always output. So there are certain properties of the hash functions. So one of the properties that known as the one-way property, which meaning that uh, if you are given a hash value y equal to h of x and hash functions h, it is difficult to derive the original input message x, because one-way hash function is the many to one functions. It is known as the one-way property. Second property is known as the weak collision resistant property, which tells that if an attacker is given any input x, attacker needs to find another input y so that they are distinct, but their hash values are same. That means that there will be hash collisions between the inputs. So, which is known as the weak collision resistant property. Then we are having a strong collision resistant property, which tells that uh, attacker needs to find a pair of inputs x and y, distinct pair of inputs x and y, so that there is a hash collision, which is known as the weak collision resistant property. And of course, there are many applications of the hash functions, uh, including the digital signature, message authentication code, and etc. Now let us look at some of the examples of the popularly used one hash functions. We are having MD5 message digest algorithms, which was developed by Ron Divest at MIT. It takes any arbitrary length input message, produces 128-bit hash output. Then we are having the secure hash algorithms family, which was designed by NIST, that USA, National Institute of Standards and Technology, USA. It has the variant of the hash functions SHA-1, which produces 160-bit hash digest. SHA-256, it produces 256 hash message digest. SHA-384, SHA-512, which produces 512-bit message digest. Now, currently, that blockchain uses that SHA-256 has algorithms, that means that which produces 256 bits message digest.
Hello.
So apart from that, we are having the RIPE MD, that 160, that has functions, which was designed by the RIPE project. It takes that input as the message of arbitrary length, but produces 128 bit, 160 bit as output as the message digest. So generally that hash functions does not use any the key, but if you use key along with a message to produce hash output, that is known as the hashed message authentication code, known as the HMAC. So that HMACs will basically applications of a hash functions, which will apply a message along with the key. Now we'll cover the last that portions here, so which is known as the elliptic curve based crypto systems. We are interested here because it requires for the blockchain the technology discussions. So in the elliptic curve based things, we are interested that elliptic curves over a prime field or Galois field GFP, where P is a very large prime number. And as you have told that p equal to 2 is only the even prime, otherwise all primes are odd. So let us select a very large prime number, p greater than 3, a large prime number. Then if we consider a curve of this form, say y square equal to x cube plus x plus b over a finite field zp, which consists of the numbers 0 1 up to p minus 1, where p is a prime number. And if we take all the solutions of the elliptic curve and forms a set, along with a special point known as the point at infinity or 0 point, that will constitute the elliptic curve. So for more information, you can look at this reference, and this is the research papers by Neil Coverage, Elliptic Curve Cryptosystems, Mathematics of Computations, which was published in 1987. Now let us look at some of the properties of elliptic curves here. Uh, uh, Now, if prime number p is very large, then computing that total number of points in the elliptic curve is not easy problem. And the mathematician Hasi gave a formula where the number of points on the elliptic curve can be bounded by the lower bound p plus 1 minus 2 square root of p and upper bound p plus 1 2 square root of p. And if each large prime number, then we can say roughly that there are p elliptic curve points are there on the elliptic curve. And interestingly, that uh, that set of all points on the elliptic curve along with the point and infinity forms an abelian commutative group under the modulo p operations. And say the if you are given a point p having x coordinate, y coordinate as the xp and yp, and if you want to compute inverse or known as the image of the point p, that is defined as the minus p equal to xp comma minus yp, where minus y is known as the additive inverse of y. So that means that y plus minus y equal to 0. 0 is the additive, basically identity in the group. So for example, if we take the p equal to 13 as the prime number, and if we want to say compute the inverse of 4 comma 2, so then it will be that 4 comma basically that minus 2, that will give the 4 comma uh, 13 minus 2, that is 11. So therefore we are having that inverse of the point 4 comma 2 will be 4 comma 11. So let us have these discussions here. So the can we compute the exactly number of points on the elliptic curve? Of course, that yes. If each is the not large prime numbers, then it can be done in the polynomial time. If each very large, then the algorithms will take exponential type algorithms. So the since we are talking about the elliptic curves over the prime field ZP and modulo P, all the points will be the lies in between 0 and P minus 1. So therefore, let us start x coordinate either 0, and we'll go up to less than P. Then that we are solving the elliptic curve here, y square of this form. Let W equal to x3 plus x plus b modulo P, and W must be a of this form y square. So therefore, we are computing first W x cube plus x plus b modulo P, and if W is a perfect square, that means in form of y square, then we are outputting that x comma square root of W, that is y, x comma minus square root of W, that is x comma minus y, as it inverse or image points. So for example, say 4 is perfect square because 4 is represented as the 2 square, 9 is perfect square, 9 is represented as 3 square, 14 is perfect square, it is 4 square, and so on. So on. And if it is a perfect square, then we are having the 2 points. Otherwise, we will increment x by x plus 1, and until the loops is exhausted. So therefore, if you have this simple example with a equal to 1 and b equal to 1, prime equal to 23, and if you plot all the points, then you will see that there are roughly 24 points are there in the elliptic curve, which is uh, we satisfy that basically the inequality, as well as roughly there are p points are there. Now, on the elliptic curve cryptosystems, that there are two kinds of operations are defined. One is known as the elliptic curve point additions. Therefore, if you are giving the 2 points related with P and Q, then what is the idea that you draw a straight line passing through the points P and Q, let it cut at the third point minus R. You take its inverse image or inverse, then you will get the P plus Q as the additions of the 2 points. And we are also having another things known as the elliptic of point multiplications, which is also known as the doubling operations. Say if you are given a point p, we want to do this a 2p, which is nothing but p plus p. So therefore, what you will do that you draw a tangent passing through the point P, let it cut to the point R. You will take the its inverse. It will be there known as the doubling of the point 2P, that is P plus P. Now, if we solve these two the equations geometric problem, given that you are given the 2 points P, XP and YP and OQ having the coordinates XQ and YQ, then we want to add the elliptic curve points R P plus Q. Let the x coordinate be XR and Y coordinate be YR. Then we'll get the XR and YR as follows. So lambda is the nothing but the slope of the line joining the points P and Q when P not equal to minus Q, and when the P and Q are same, that is we are getting twice P. This is the slope of the tangent passing through the point P. We'll get it. Now then there is the question of something known as the base point. Suppose you are having an elliptic curve and you are taking a uh, point on the elliptic curve by the G. Now, if it order is n, that is n is very large, such that if we add the point G save to itself n times, we'll get the point in infinity or 0 point. So as a result, so this is known as the scalar multiplications, which means that if you are given the scalar 5 and point P, we can say the do the 5P as the P plus P plus P 5 times we can add it. So let us take a problem here. Say consider 2 points P and Q in the elliptic curve, say with A equal to 1, B equal to 1 and P equal to 23 as the prime number. We want to compute P plus Q and twice P. So for this purpose, of what we'll do that we'll first see that P and Q, they are not same. We'll first compute the lambda. Lambda is nothing but the slope of the line passing through the points P and Q. So this is the first case. So in that case, if you take this will be minus 2 modulo 23 equal to 21. Then lambda value will be put here in these two equations, x and y. Then we will get the point as the 7,12. So as a result, we are having P plus Q equal to 7,12. So on the second case, that we need to doubling the point P twice. So that means that in order to compute R equal to twice P, that is having x coordinate XR and y coordinate YR, we'll first derive something known as the lambda value. So slope of the tangent passing to the point P. We'll get this one first. Then we'll substitute the value of lambda in the equations XR and YR. We'll get the point as the 4, 0. So hence twice P will be equal to 4, 0. Now associated to the elliptic curve cryptography techniques, we now defined some hard problems. So first hard problem is known as the elliptic curve discrete logarithm problem. So what is the problem is telling that if you are given an elliptic curve, say EPA comma B, and you are also given the 2 points P and Q. So where Q is of the form Kp, K is the scalar, that is P plus K times. So can you determine the K without knowing the K? And here K is known as the discrete logarithm. So therefore the discrete logarithm problem tells that determinations of the K given the points P and Q. And this problem is very hard problem, an open problem when the prime number P is chosen very large on the elliptic curve. So this is something known as the mathematical things. That means that not going here. So it involves that deriving the advantage or success probability of an adversary against the ECDLP, and if that success probability is very negligible, then we will tell that the problem is very hard. So in a simpler manner, what we can tell that ECDLP problems as follows. If you are given a probabilistic polynomial time algorithms, say let it be say A, given the 2 points P and Q, that algorithms will determine the disk algorithm K in polynomial time. And if the probability of determining K is negligible in the security parameter L, that means the size of the L is the size of the prime number, then we will tell that this problem is hard problem. Now let us look at another problem which is known as the elliptic curve computational development problem, known as the ECCHDP. So in this case, what we are telling that if you are given the 3 points P, another point K1P and K2P, so can we compute that K1 K2 dot P? And this problem is very hard problem because if you can compute K1 from K1 dot P, that is equivalent to elliptic curve disk logarithm problem, then only you can derive K1 into K2 dot P. So since elliptic curve disk logarithm problem is difficult, this problem is also difficult when P is large. So another problem is known as the elliptic curve decisional development problem, which tells that if you are giving a tuple, say for example prime number P, K1P, K2P and K3P, can we that decide whether K3 equal to K1, K2 or it is a uniform number? Again, it depends on the solutions of the elliptic of disk logarithm problem, because if you can derive K1 and K2 from K1P, K2 dot P, then you can multiply simply K1, K2 and check by deriving K3 from K3 dot P. But since that problem is difficult, therefore this problem is so difficult. So as a result, we are telling that all the problems we have stated here, elliptic curve disk logarithm problem, elliptic curve computational development problem, elliptic curve decisional development problems, all problems are equally hard problems when the prime number P is chosen very large. So in order to make these problems to be intractable or NP hard problem, at least that 160-bit prime number to be chosen for these problems. Now, in a similar way of your RS encryptions, your elliptic curve encryptions also there. In the elliptic curve encryptions, assume that both the sender and receiver, they have generated their own private key, public key pairs. So here private key is the basically the a random secret chosen randomly, which is less than the prime number q, and the public key will be that is na dot g, which is g the base point. That means that you are adding the point g any times. Now, one thing should be noted that in the elliptic of cryptography systems, everything message is considered as the elliptic of points. So, hence there is a question that given a plain text message, for example, this is FDP at NIT Silch, or this is a plain text message needs to be first converted to an elliptic of points, and after that we can only that encrypt that message, otherwise not. So there is again the method is there known as the coverage method, which is available from this website. I will also share these slides. You can look at that. So that will convert that a plaintext message can be converted to the elliptic of points, and vice versa. Elliptic of points will be converted to the original plaintext message with the help of this method. So therefore, let us assume that we are getting a point PM corresponding to a plaintext message M, which is converted to a point. Now we are ready to encrypt the point PM, that is the message PM, to generate the ciphertext message. So in order to generate the ciphertext message CM, so what we'll do that we'll first choose a random positive integer k, and with the help of the random positive integer k, we'll compute first C1, which is known as the kg, that is the g plus g plus g k times. Then given the plaintext message PM and given the public key of the receiver, that PB, will multiply k with the PB, and then that this point, the two elliptical points will be added. So that will give the C2. So therefore C1 and C2 will be the pairs which will give the hypertext corresponding to the plaintext message PM. Now the question is that once that hypertext message is sent to the receiver should apply its own private key NB to recover the plaintext message. So therefore ECC decryption takes place as follows: that user B has its own private key NB, and it will derive that plaintext message PM with the help of decrypting the ciphertext using the private key NB, which is equal to the C2 minus NB C1, which is equal to PM. Now let us take this example rather than this one. So we'll go to this demo one, big example here. So in practice, how does it work with the elliptic of encryption and decryptions? Suppose that we are generating the key. So if you generate the key, at least private key, public key there, Bob's private key, public key is there. Then if Alice wants to encrypt a message, it will use the public key of Bob, and Bob will decrypt using its own private key. Now let us see here, say we are typing, say this is FDP at say NIT Silchar. This message we have encrypted here. So this is encoded message that what we got it here. Now if we want for decrypting the message, then we should get the original plaintext message. So original plaintext message, if you see that here, so this is FDP at NIT Silchar, that what we have already received it here. Okay. So for this message, we are getting the encrypted message, this one, and for decryptions, we should get the original plaintext message, this one. This is FDP at NIT Silchar. And this is how that your elliptic curve encryption decryptions takes place. So finally, that we'll discuss about the elliptic curve digital signatures. That is the last part of this talk, and which is, will be used in the block constructions in the blockchain technologies that will be taken in the next sessions. So we now talk about the elliptic curve digital signatures algorithms known as the ECDSA signatures algorithms. So what signatures algorithm states that if you are given a message, plain text message, with the help of the signature key, a signature will be created. Then message along with the signatures will be presented to a verifier, and verifier should be able to verify the signature of the message with the help of only the public informations. So what we are telling that there is a signatures algorithms which will take the plain text message X, produce the signature Y, and corresponding the verification algorithms known as the VARK, so which will take the plain text message and signatures and produce answers true or false. That means that if signature is valid, it will return the true value. If the signature is invalid, it will return the false value. And the pair that plain text message along with the signature is known as the signed message. Now let us look at the something known as the elliptic curve digital signatures algorithms, known as the ECDSS signatures algorithms. So in these signatures algorithms, first the domain parameters needs to be selected. So what does it mean that uh, it requires the selections of an elliptic curve EPA, comma B, that defined over a finite field GFP having a base point G, whose order is n. That means that if we add the point G n times, it will get the point n infinity at 0 point. So the step is that first that say the Alice is there. Alice is generating a private key K, computing the public key Q equal to KG, and then it is publishing the public key Q and keeps the private key K as the secret one. So K is known as the signature key. So in the signature generations algorithm, since Alice what is doing, Alice is now signing a message in with the help of the signing key K. So first of all, that it is selecting a pseudo or secret integer L corresponding to the message M. It is computing LG at the point multiplications having the x coordinate x1 and y1. Then it is computing the hash of the message M using the one hash functions. Then it is making signatures R L inverse E plus KR. So note that K is the signature key, private key of the Alice, signature key. So since it involves the private key of the Alice, nobody can else recreate the signatures on behalf of Alice because Alice has only the private key. So Alice can only generate the signature. So therefore, the Alice signatures on the message M will be R, comma S. This is the R and this will be there. Now the Alice has sent that message M as well as signatures to the verified, say Bob. So Bob has all the public domain parameters, and the signature it has to verify the signatures using only the public parameters. So what Bob will do, that Bob will first compute the hash of the message M. Then using all the public parameters R, S, everything is public. So it will compute the S inverse modulo N. E1 equal to EW modulo N. E and all this public. U2 equal to R. RW, R is also public. R is received here. And W modulo N. Then it will compute an elliptic curve points which consist of U1G and U2Q. Then additions of the 2 points, it will get the point X having say X coordinate as the X1, Y coordinates Y1. Then it will compute V equal to X1 modulo N. Then it will check whether this co- computed V is equal to the received R or not. And if they match, it will ensure that the signature is valid, otherwise signature is invalid. Now let us look at it demonstrations here, online demonstrations here. So how the elliptic or digital signatures works here. So let us generate the key pairs here. We have generated key pairs, elliptical key pairs. Now we are using say the SAR256 hash algorithms. Say let us give the same message here. Say this is uh, FDP at say NIT Silchar. We now sign the message. So if you sign the message, that signatures will be taken as the R, comma S. So R, comma S. So that we have got. Now, if we verify it, it should give the valid ECDC signatures. Now, if somebody say, for example, with the same signature, somebody say for example, modified message, say for example, add say change say A uppercase T, then if wants to verify the signatures, it will be invalid ECDC signatures. So therefore, since signature cannot be created by anybody else except the Alice, so therefore it will be detected as the invalid signatures at the others inside. So now we'll make some comparative study here based on the security strength. If you use the symmetric key based encryption algorithms, where the 80-bit key size will provide the sufficient security for say the double encryption standard algorithms, then the same key bit size is required for providing security in RSA, that it requires 1024 bits key size, and ECC it requires 162 to 3 bits key size. So therefore, if you see that uh, symmetric key encryption algorithms require the lesser key bit size, whereas comparably, elliptic curve requires also the lesser key size as compared to the RSA algorithms. So that's why there is a the advantages of using now ECC algorithms over the RSA, because it is very fast, and the smaller key size also gives the sufficient security as compared to the RSA algorithms here. So as a result, what we are telling that a smaller key size for RSA is used to provide the sufficient security uh, as compared to the RSA algorithms. So as a result, that there is a computational advantage of using ECC with a shorter key length size than comparably secure RSA algorithms. And finally, that we are having the in RSA we are having the hard problems known as the integer factorations problems. Given the modulus n, can you determine the prime factors p and q in the polynomial time? This cannot be done in polynomial time. For the elliptic curve crypto system, this is known as the elliptic curve that is disk logarithm problem, ECDLP problem. Given the 2 points p and q, can you determine the elliptic curve k or not? And also that in our that test bed experiment in IIIT Hyderabad, we have also done the test bed experiment using the Miracle library, and this library is known as the multiplication integer and rational arithmetic library functions. So we have taken two kinds of platform here. One is known as the server the setting platform, under this where the CPU is the not resource constant. So what we have done that we have implemented each and every that primitives available here, and we have run 100 times. Then we have measured the maximum minimum the run time of each primitives, and then taken the average one. For example, if we use the SAR256 algorithms, one has functions with the 256 has output. It requires the maximum the runtime of 0.14 milliseconds, minimum is 0.042 milliseconds, average time is required 0.55 milliseconds. So similarly for the modular exponentiations, say x power e modulo n, elliptic curve point multiplications, elliptic curve point additions, bilinear pairing functions, and requires all these things. And you will see that bilinear pairings is very costly operations. Now, for example, there are certain scenario that we'll talk about in the next sessions tomorrow. That where the say drone or IoT devices are very resource constant. For that purpose, we can use the Raspberry Pi 3 setting, where all the similar all the functionality will be that uploaded in the Raspberry Pi's memory, and from Raspberry Pi that processors will run each and execute each and every primitive. And we have connected Raspberry Pi with a terminal here. Then we have run each and every primitive from the Raspberry Pi the processors. Uh, then we have measured all the times. So therefore, with the Raspberry Pi setting, this is the Raspberry Pi that things we have purchased Raspberry Pi here in the lab. Then we have tested each and every primitives. We have again run each primitives for 100 times. We measured maximum, minimum, and these things. And you will see that one of the things bilinear pairing requires too much high time as compared to that server setting times, because the Raspberry Pi that processors is not so powerful as compared to the server setting platform. So for further reading, so the Williams tolling is the good point to start. Cryptography network security parts. Then BA Faraujan, Binance manages is also there for network security, system security. But for more method treatments, you can follow manages Sanier as well as Stinson. For elliptic curve cryptographic treatment, so please refer to Neil Koblage, a course in number theory and cryptography. So with this, the introduction. So thank you very much. So now we can take some of the questions if you have.
Thank you, sir, for your nice talk. Now, participants, you can ask questions.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello. Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Long.
Sir, am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, bit louder, please.
Okay, sure. Sir, good morning.
Yeah.
Sir.
So if you have any questions, so yeah.
Good morning, sir. I have a doubt.
Yeah.
So, when we are using the same Shavan algorithm for the blockchain technology,
Mhm.
at that place we used to check for the minimum number. When you're going to make a block as a valid block, we are going to add this block to the existing blockchain. We will look for the minimum number, which contains the leading 4 zeros. So who is going to decide these 4 zeros or 5 zeros, sir? That part I did not get, sir, in the earlier topic. Hello?
Sir, unmute your mic, please. Professor Das, please unmute me.
Sir, did you get my question, sir? Hello?
Yeah. Tell me. Yeah. Yeah. I got it. So
Yes, sir.
the one of the things that that is there. Just a minute. So for example, say the we'll take in the next sessions tomorrow
Okay, sir.
that if you see the one hash functions property that it applies the market route, how to construct market route, we can verify any transactions present is here, and also the current block has previous block has is there and signature of the block has. So therefore there are a lot of applications of the one hash functions in block constructions also. Okay, apart from the digital signatures, elliptic curve digital signatures that we have talked about today, and also that elliptic curve based encryption decryption that we talk about today for encrypting transactions in case of the private blockchain. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Participants?
Sir, one question, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, regarding finding the cyclic order of an elliptic curve.
Hmm.
So what would be the best algorithm to use if the parameters are like very big parameters, like 512 bits?
Yeah, so you are telling that whether we can use big parameters in the elliptic curves or not, right?
No, I'm asking how to find a cyclic order.
How to?
Find the cyclic order of a given generator.
No. Yeah, you are telling that how to find the cyclic subgroup in the elliptic curve or something, right?
Yeah. If a generator is given, and how to find the cyclic order of that.
Oh, cyclic order it is the easy because say for example, if you look at say for example g power 1 you compute g power 1 g is the say something the this point you are giving. So the you compute 2G, the 3G, the 4G, and so on until say for example NG, if NG equal to point in infinity or 0 point. So this will constitute your cyclic group.
But when it is very large, so it takes
Yeah.
a lot of time to compute. So how is there any specific algorithm you can do it?
No, you are doing these computations in offline.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. This computation is done in offline because these are all the public parameters, right? You can compute in offline, Then online competitions, you are only doing that some the point multiplications or point addition. That's all, nothing else. So it is possible.
Sir, for example, in NIST elliptic curve parameter, they haven't given a cyclic order.
Yeah.
They have given only G
No, no,
only, but they
elliptic
have
curve.
given the
Mhm.
cyclic order. So how do you find in such case?
No, no, I am telling that, say, for example, you have an elliptic curve, say EQ A comma B, right?
Yes, sir.
And also you are given the base point, say you have chosen a base point D. Now, with the help of the base point D, you can have this cyclic group.
Yes, sir. But computing one by one takes a lot of time if it is very large. So, is there any
No, no, no.
specific
This will
algorithm?
not take. No, no. This will not take so much time because, say, for example, if I computed already this one, then I want to compute this because I can simply use the previous case. So that's all right. I'll add only
Yes,
with
yes.
this one.
Hmm.
So it is done in polynomial time, right?
I was trying to do such computation, but it was taking a lot of time. So
No,
I
no,
didn't get the
not a lot of time, because again there is an elegant, efficient algorithm is there. For example, suppose I want to do the 7G, right?
Yes, sir.
So for 7G, I have to add the point G 7 times.
Yes.
Instead of that, what I will do that I will first make the binary representations of the 7 G.
Okay.
So what is that things? That will be 1 plus 2 plus 4.
Yes.
So plus 4 into G. So which is what? G plus twice G plus 4G.
Yes.
So what for that? What I'll do? I first compute twice G first, G plus G. Then what I
Okay.
will get the 4G. 4G will be equal to 2G plus 2G.
2G plus 2G. Yes.
Done. Then
Yes.
what 7G will get? So how many that computations I require? That I did 1, 2, and another
True.
the 2 additions. So 4. Total 4 additions I require instead of 7.
Yes, sir. This can be done when it is small. When I say
Which
like
one?
512-bit number, like
No. For that one, there is an algorithm. So a traditional that things is required order of say k. Okay. K
okay.
means that k, and in this case it will require order of log base 2k complexity.
Yes, sir.
So even it is 512 bits. So how many? What is the requirement here? So order of say log base 2, say 5 the 2 power 512, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what is there? Only 512 operations are required. Even it is a
Okay,
512 bits numbers. So it is efficient. Okay, we can compute. Okay,
Okay, sir.
it could be done.
Sir, hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I have one more doubt, sir. Say, when you are looking at the blockchain's data structure,
Mm-hmm.
in that we can observe that there is a version. So, version of the blockchain, sir. May I know the current version and
Oh, you are talking about the block versions, right?
yes, sir. Blockchain versions.
Blockchain versions or current blockchain versions
Yes, sir.
or something.
Yes, sir. Current blockchain version, sir. What is the previous one? I don't have knowledge about that.
No, that we'll discuss tomorrow, okay? Because it requires some discussions on the blockchain. We'll make it tomorrow.
Sure, sir. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, also that I will also share these slides to the organizer. So you can have this look on the slides with all the demos. So I'll send immediately after this talk to the organizer. So please collect from him. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you, participants. So now, Professor Sukumar Das, thank you for your nice talk and detailed talk on cryptography, and little bit you have touched upon blockchain. So we are hoping that tomorrow we will have a great session with you on blockchain.
Yeah.
So thank you, sir, for giving your time, valuable time, and spending with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
I'll share to you with my slides. So please share the slides to all the participants. Okay.
Okay, sir, no issue. Also, I'm recording the
Okay.
session that I'll also upload.
Yes. Okay, fine.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Now we have next session with Padma Shri Prahlad Ramarao ji.
Hello,
Thank
Shyam
you, sir.
Prasad.
Thank you, sir.
Namaskar.
Already you have joined.
Yeah, join. When you give it time, we will follow.
Thank you, sir. So this will be a great talk, participant. This is especially for the people who are very stressed in their life. So will be very helpful, this talk, listening from Padma Shri Dr. Prahlad Ramarao ji. So sir, you can start with your PPT and all if you have.
Yeah, I will start. I will just share so that make sure that it is working correctly.
Okay.
I'll share my PPT. I want to make sure it works. Full page. Shyam Prasad, are you able to see full screen?
Yeah, yes, sir. It is seen.
Full screen, no? Okay.
Yes,
My
sir.
voice is it clear? My
Yes,
voice
sir,
is
yes.
it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very nice. Good morning to all the participants. Okay. I'm happy to be with the ATAL program, wherein all the young engineers, students, researchers, some faculty members, all are participating in this program, where you are learning many things about IoT, cyber security. You are also learning about uh, internet, how to do it, communications, artificial intelligence, so many things you are doing. But I want to tell you that whatever you try to do, and your life will be full of stress. And this is a problem whenever you want to achieve something very, very high. Even a good sportsman, you ask this sportsman how much stressful they are when they want to achieve Olympic medal, for example. It is not easy. You have to go through so many challenges and withstand the pressure. Then only you can win. Similarly, you take the high power politician, he's under a lot of stress because Kisa Kursika, where is my chair? Or you take a big businessman, he's all the time getting worried about competes a competition from many people in the world. So whoever you see, he is under stress. In this current condition, it is not possible to remain without being stressed. But the life is how I can manage to live, though in the stressful world, and my own life becoming stressed, highly stressed. How can I live peacefully, healthily, and with good wellness? This is the issue which we have thought about it because I was a project director. I worked with Dr. Kalam. I made work with missile systems, Agni missile, Akash missile, Astra missile. So every time we go for the missile system, we have to go for a checkout. That is how to check the missile before missile is launched. And we go to the range where we do the missile checkout. And the last few minutes, we are high stress because we don't know whether it works or not. Where is the target? Where is the software? Where is the hardware? We're all in the range, in Balasur, the coastal area of Balasur, and weather conditions, so many stressful things. Then we were all worried how to live life like this. Many people complain that every time you go for a missile launch, your life reduces by 6 months. So Kalam used to say, you go inside a blockhouse, buddy, and you come out, your life would have been reduced by 6 months. Because every time you go through many hours and minutes of such a high stress, you say your life will come down. But Kalam himself was not having any stress. How he is able to live without stress? Whereas we are all high stressed. So we were thinking how to live like him. He will have a large campaign and go in the evening to his room and play Veena without getting any stress. So we were thinking how to live a life which is stress-free, how to live. So after I joined this Swami Vivekananda Yoga, I have done a lot of studies how to live without stress. So I thought I will share with you what I have learned, what I am practicing. I am every day practicing this itself. So I thought let me share with you what I have learned. Okay. Let me see. Trying to remember this time. Yeah. This is a self-management of excessive tension. I am trying to present my self-management of excessive tension. And you see, for anybody who is trying to do excellence in life, high performance in life, you have to face this problem. You want to be a brilliant scientist, you want to be a brilliant manager, you want to excel in your studies, you want to have the best of health like a sportsman, cricketer, or any athlete. You want to be well till late in your life. You want to live 100 years of life, stress-free life. How to do it? So we are trying to learn how to do it. Now the challenge, unfortunately, we are living in a real world where, we are doubting even the air is, we doubt whether air is really free from pollution. Especially people say, you read the newspaper, they say Delhi air pollution level, or what is the situation? Bangalore air pollution level, or you talk, this is Deepavali, so due to crackers, what happened to the air pollution? Like that, even the air we breathe, we are not sure how polluted it is, how safe it is. Or water you drink, everybody used to take the bottled water, mineral water. No, you go to any meeting, they will give you a bottled water. So you think you are getting good water because people have stopped taking tap water. Or you are in a house, you connect your water filter, you take water filter. Now, in the meantime, people say if you take in the water from a bottle, bottle is made out of plastic, it is not safe. So bottled water is not safe. So you are getting worried. Then they will give you water with RO plant. Immediately you will see in the newspaper, they say RO is not good. It is removing all the minerals. How can it give you safety? How can I give you your minerals you require? It cannot be zero minerals. So again you are under stress. Whether the water I am drinking, is it safe? The food I take, is it safe? You would have seen the newspaper video. Let's say when you buy a vegetable or a fruit, immediately they say you sterilize it. So if you are a mother, you are worried about my child, whether the fruit I buy from the market, is it safe? How do I sterilize water, hot water, or any chemical? The advertisement will say use my chemical, it's very safe. It's organic chemical. So you are getting worried. Food, is it safe? Or the plants you buy vegetables, what is that we are buying? Even though they say, even the food you buy, the vegetables you buy, they do artificially, they give some color. Artificially, they will allow it to become a fruit. So you don't know what is happening to the plants also. and animals, you are worried. That day I was walking, then one of my friends told, I have to take my dog for corona vaccination. I was shocked. Will the dog also get corona? Of course, sir. Dog also is liable to get corona. I have to take the dog for vaccination. It's a big exercise because the dog doesn't easily get vaccinated. We have to do so many things before to vaccinate. So you see the stresses people are going through, animals, microorganisms, human beings. So the world is so many challenges. But this is the world we are living. This is only world we have. So we have to accept that we have to accept such a world we are going to live. Now also the people are saying you are living in a VUCA world that is highly volatile. You are reading newspaper, you open the newspaper, they say there is a war, battle going on in Afghanistan. So it may be far away, Afghanistan is far away, but you are seeing every day you feel Indians are there in Afghanistan, maybe your family members are there, are they alive or dead, are they safe or not, you are worried. Then you see in the newspaper, they say the dry fruits have vanished from the market because of Afghan war. You won't get any dry fruits. Those dry fruits rates have skyrocketed. You won't get. Then they say lithium. Lithium, Afghanistan has got a very good source of lithium. But Afghan war, you may not get any lithium. So what happens? So the world is so volatile, so uncertain, and every day is irrespective of whether you're part of which part of the world. Some problem is in Afghanistan, some problem in China. China goes through the famous corona issue. Then suddenly you see in the market that you are not getting electronic components from China, which has to come. Chinese have stopped producing electronic components because the factories are closed and we are not able to get the components. So you cannot get your car in time, car is waiting. You can't get your equipment in time because components are missing. So the whole world is so integrated, it becomes so uncertain, so volatile. Even though you think you are living in a very peaceful, stable, safe society. This is not really happening. And it's so complex. The world is also so complex. And the people you ask, people who go every day to work, thank God now due to many lockdowns and all, many people are not going to work. You are to work from home. So your daily travel has come down to barest minimum. Otherwise, you see, imagine your son or a daughter going to school or a college, how much complex it is to reach in time with all the traffic problems, all the unrest going on in the city, and the uncertainty about the vehicle, car, scooter, bus, or the metro, whatever you may take, there's always a complex situation. So, and ambiguous. Now I asked my grandson, when is your exam? He said, I don't know, Tata, when is the exam? They're not announcing. And I go to class, I don't know which experiments I have to get prepared. So the whole life of a student is so ambiguous today. Student is worried about examination, about practicals, about syllabus, about teacher, about language. So complex. The world is so complex. And so it's a VUCA world. People say it's a VUCA world. Now you say, in addition to the world itself becoming so stressful, you also see the problem student unrest. Students are, young boys and girls, they are so much under stress. And that day I saw one young boy, a fellow happy because he did not get the marks he expected. Somebody else has got more marks than him. He is worried. And he goes, one of the, the young girls, I asked her, you look so stressed. What is how are you? You're a young girl, you're enjoying life. Problem. No, uncle, I am trying to get a good boyfriend. I'm not getting. All my girlfriends are having boyfriends. I don't have a proper boyfriend. I said, why are you worried? No, 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 you don't have the peer pressures. You should have a boyfriend. If I don't have a boyfriend, they will all be discussing about their boyfriends, and I don't have a boyfriend. I am an outcast. So I have to live. I have to have a boyfriend, I should know. So I'm a little concerned. I want to get a good guy. Okay? So the students are so much stressed. And in addition to it, drug culture. So you have been reading Punjab side what's happening drug, UP what's happening drug, world what's happening drug. People go to airport, they don't know what they are getting. Drug is becoming a menace. And what happens? How do you live with it? The professional problem. I told you, you want to do well, you want to get promotion, you want to get shabash, you want to get recognition. How you are professionally you are doing well. In addition to alcoholism, people are stressed. To overcome stress, they drink alcohol. To get alcohol, you become alcoholism, you become another problem. You will become alcoholic. Then doctor will say, no, you have to get treatment, you have to join some center for treating for alcoholism. So you see the life is very complex. In addition to gun, fortunately gun terrorism is less in India. But in American schools you have seen when the school boys go to the school, they suddenly don't know somebody will enter the school and start shooting. So people are worried about gun terror. Even in India it's happening. The other day I saw in the newspaper. Somebody says he was just walking to the road, a car stopped. They shot one fellow in the gun and ran away. So because guns are so easily available, people just use it as a toy, gun terrorism. And ambition. Everybody, every boy, every girl, every man, every woman is ambitious. They want to do well. They have got their own aspirations. They want to succeed in life. Look beautiful, look handsome, get good income, have a car. So many aspirations are there. And they always compare with neighbors, compare with peers. The pressures are increasing every day. In addition to it, we have political now. Oh my God. So you see the chief ministers fighting, minister and ministers fighting, PM and chief minister are not happy. You go to the politics, oh, the education minister will decide when your class will start, when your school will start, when your exam will start. So politically you are getting worried all the time. You are looking at what does the education minister announce today in the video. So the students are watching the education minister what statement he makes. And IT people, they say, today I saw in the newspaper, IT minister says, from up to December 2022, you try to do work from home. This is a request or some sort of a directive from the minister to IT companies till December 2022, try not to go to work from home. You see the stressors. As such, work from home is not easy. You are highly stressed. No, they said till December, don't go. So it is becoming a big confusion. How do we handle it? In addition to it, you have a family divorces. Today, divorce case rates in the city is very high. And children are not living separately. And single parent problems are becoming serious. Then there is a famous double income, no kid problem. Okay, DINK, double income, no kid. Husband, wife is earning 2 lakhs per month, but no kid. You see the stresses they are undergoing. Or single income, no, again, a single parent issue. So you see the types of problems which are not there probably maybe some few decades ago. No problems are coming up. And the stresses are very high. See, today, for example, because double income, single child, single kid. double income, they lack 4 lakhs of rupees every month. Single child. Imagine the stress the child undergoes because father is rich, mother is rich, father is well employed, mother is well employed. So they would all their attention is towards the child. Child, what it is, which school, what homework the child has done, why child is getting only 95, not 98 marks in mathematics. How is he with respect to students? How smart he is? Why he is not able to sleep? Why he is not putting on weight? Why the height is not increasing? Because the parents all the focus on one child. So child is under more stress than the parent. Parents under equally stressed because of the professional problems. So you can imagine how stressful the life is. Now, you look at the world. Oh, you have succeeded in the world like anything. Yesterday I saw there's a 20-story railway station built in Nagpur. So you see everywhere in Bangalore city or in Bombay or in Delhi, skyscrapers are coming, 20 floors, 30 floors coming. People are living in skyscrapers. Fully automated lifts are there, security is there. But people, are they happy living in a 20th floor with security, with lift there, with generator, with water purifier? So many things are there, if you want to live. And everything is a question mark. And you got STP, you got solar power, you got generator, you got lift. Then people are under stress. So, that's why to it IT. You go to a 3-year-old child, 5-year-old child has to sit in front of the laptop and learn music, learn ABCD, learn arithmetic, learn science. How they will learn in front of a laptop or a tab when I was earlier being taught by a teacher in a school classroom. But IT, you can't help it. We're all learning online. You got a web teaching, IT is there. In addition to IoT is coming. When IoT comes, you are more machine oriented. And artificial intelligence is going to come. So when you want to go see a doctor will not be there. You are supposed to sit in front of a computer. Now, computer will put a lot of sensors, and then computer will look at you, ask some questions. At the end, the computer will say, "This is the problem you are having." No doctor, no checking your pulse or heart rate, nothing. Machine will look at it. Computer will ask questions. Computer will give it a display. We have found that you are having cancer in this part of your body. Finish. So this is artificial intelligence going to come. So you see how life is going to change. Now, in addition to it, you are having you can hire a car, take a Ola, take it to go where you want. They say tomorrow it is driverless. Ola will come, but there is no driver. So you have to sit in the Ola, car will take you where you want. Or you buy a car, driverless, you sit in a car and tell, you take me to movie theater, tell the name, the car will take it. It will happen. It's already happening in many countries with all the Tesla car coming out. And tomorrow you don't know. Already in India also people are buying electric cars. Electric cars with a driver, without driver, both are going to come. So you will have pilotless cars, pilotless aircraft, pilotless car, train, pilotless boat, pilotless ship. This is going to come. So it may be high technology, but is it making you comfortable? This is what is the, but you have to live in this world, you can't help it. And medicine, you take a fantastic diagnostic tools are there. Fantastic diagnostic tools are there. For everything, you go to one scanning machine, then the machine will tell you what is going wrong with you. And very powerful medicines are available. We are doing a lot of research. Powerful medicines are available. So there is no problem. You will get anything you want. TVs are smart, smart kitchen, smart TV, smart city, smart village, smart dresses. Everything becoming smart. Today somebody was telling, I want to have a smart campus. University campus will be made smart. And somebody announced recently, I want to plan a smart wedding. I said, what is this? No, no, I want to make a smart wedding. I have to marry my daughter. I want to create a smart wedding, a new software I want to make sure. I want to do smart wedding. So you see how people are going smart because that is how it is changing. World is changing, no? But then the surgeries also are becoming microsurgery, plastic surgery, TV-based surgery, remote surgery, robotic surgeries are there. So you go to the hospital, they put you on a bed. Then no doctor, no surgeon. The robot will come. Robot connects to your heart or whatever part it is. Robot will carry out surgery. You don't see surgeon, you don't see sister, nobody is there. Robot will do surgery. Stitch it up. You have to go home. This is the future. So robotic surgeries are going to happen. Then you have a gym, you are putting on weight because good food, no exercise, no work. So you put on weight. Immediately say gym will work. In Bangalore, I don't know cities, every city, every area has a gym. Every area has a badminton. Why? People want to reduce weight, be fit. So either you join a gym or join a badminton court or you join a running club, something like that. Unless you do, you cannot keep yourself fit. So you have to pay money, join a gym, either for the entire year or every month, every day you pay. Or join wellness center. So the fashion now is, I will join a wellness center. So there you will be holistic treatment there. Holistic. How do you do wellness center? Holistic treatment. That means they will see you are getting complete health, holistic health. That is your food, your exercise, your diet, your way you live, the way you breathe, the way you talk is all taught. So you go through wellness center. And there is specialist, there is super specialist for everything that you are. Question is, are we stress free? Or are we adding to the stress? In case it is so, how do you live? So the hazards of health, I have been looking at it. Any medicine, any disease you got a care. So Corona came, people found vaccine. Smallpox came, people found vaccine. Now blood pressure, every other individual has by high blood pressure. So blood pressure medicines are there. Asthma, they'll give you some pump, you get asthma control. Diabetes, the tablet they will give you, they'll give you, they will inject hormone with you. So it is there. So everything you are getting fantastic medicines, fantastic care. But still, the cases of illness, cases of health, early death, or unknown death is increasing. And in addition to it, psychiatric problems. Even a film actor says, I am going through depression. Sports person says, I am going through depression. Beautiful young lady who is a beauty queen, she says, I am going through depression. I don't know, how is it possible? What's happening? And people say, I want to take a break. I want a break because too much stress. I have got anxiety, neurosis, you have anxiety, psychosis. So there's not allowing people to be happy. You may have money, you may have beauty, you may have car, you may have everything. But neither you are happy nor you are healthy. You are healthy or not happy. You are happy, neither healthy nor happy. So it is things going on like this. Why? Is it scientific knowledge? No, we have very good scientific knowledge. Our knowledge base is fantastic. You go to Google, you just key whatever you want, immediately solutions will come. Thousand solutions will come. Don't have to worry. modern science is there. Universe. Unfortunately, our understanding of the human body is still not fully explored, still limited. Similarly, our understanding of the entire universe is still limited. We do not know the entire how the whole world, for example, how the solar energy is coming, how it is generated, will it last forever? Because of solar energy, what is the effect on us? Similarly, cosmic energy, can we tap cosmic energy? What happened? People are telling, for example, the cycle, all the cycles you see, that is suddenly you get a lot of floods, suddenly you get hot wave. Canada went through 50 degrees centigrade. It never happened in Canada, 50 degrees. Very, very. In New York, they went through very high temperature. Paris went through 50 degrees. And this year you saw floods in Germany, floods in China, floods in Bangalore, unheard of floods. Because we have not understood the universe completely. Still we don't know the effect of sun, the moon, the winds, not fully understood. Similarly, our own body, we are not fully understood. Why I am getting cancer? Why I am getting blood pressure? Why he gets, I don't get? Can I, if I get blood pressure, I can withdraw. Some people, some child is born with diabetes, type 1 diabetes. Child born with juvenile diabetes. Child from birth is born with diabetes. And some people, even a young 10-year-old child, diabetic. You have to get insulin. Insulin for a 10-year-old child. How is it possible? Why it is happening? Is it because of food, because of genetics, because of what's happening in the world? So, though the science is very modern, medicines are highly sophisticated, equipment are available, but our understanding of our own physics, our own body, similarly our understanding of the entire universe, our own earth, is still inadequate. We have yet to go to the deepest and find out how to do better, how to live better, how to understand the world better. So there is a search going on at various levels in the world. For example, we have to understand the energy. In fact, there are many people who believe that there is inexhaustible energy available in the world, in the cosmic energy universe. You don't have to tap. You don't need gas. You don't need nuclear fuel. You don't need oil. You don't need coal. You can get energy from the cosmos. Energy is universally available, given to you by nature. You don't know how to tap it. This is what many people believe. There are a lot of research going on in the world how to tap the free energy in the universe, in the cosmos. This is what is happening. Till then, we are trying to break conventional energy, unconventional energy, renewable energy, sustainable energy. We are trying to do all that we are going to do. The energy itself is still big question mark because energy is going to control all our activities. Even for example, we are telling you we are going to go through the world is going through the hot climatic change takes place. It's not because we are consuming more energy than required. Energy. So the world is becoming hotter and hotter. And the effects are, you are seeing, with catastrophic effects are there because the universe is becoming hot. So we should see how to contain the energy to live in a peaceful world which does not go through such climatic variations and have a peace. Peace. Why human beings are all the time fighting with each other? You don't see peace. Even in our own country, every day you see there is something going on somewhere. People are unhappy, restless. because of ambition, because of their own, uh, desires. How to contain so that you live in a peaceful universe, healthy, happy universe. This is what is required. Because we have yet to understand. Otherwise, we cannot live like this. Now you see, velocity is nearing, we are traveling very fast. People are talking, you're having supersonic aircraft. Last time you saw people going in a rocket they say we will go in a rocket, go to atmosphere 100 kilometer, 200 kilometer at high supersonic speed and go and come back after a few hours, come back to Earth. You go through experience zero gravity. You see the Earth from 200 kilometers. How does it look? Tomorrow you want to go to moon. You go near the moon, watch the moon, come back. This is going to happen. People are going to get you a ticket for you to go to moon and come back. Maybe you will not land. You go to see the moon and come. Or maybe in your lifetime, some of you can go to moon also. Moon land, stay there for a few days and come back. Because people have understood the travel with all quantum physics, quantum mechanics, quantum biology, relativity, many things are happening. We are able to, for example, ionic propulsion, they want to do using quantum mechanics and quantum. That is, if you can go on traveling with, hello? Okay. And so, particle electrons you understand. So you can see, any crosstalk taking place? Somebody is having crosstalk. Madam Pooja Kaul. Can you make it, can you silence it, Madam Pooja? Dr. Pooja Kaul? Kindly mute it. Okay. So people are going to different galaxies, Milky Ways. People are going. This is going to happen. But still, we may not have peace. Now you see, I am very closely monitoring atomic physics, structure of atoms. I'm closely monitoring because I'm trying to see what is the physical laws in the past and whether we understood all the laws of physics, whether we are ready to learn. It appears whatever we have learned during our school days, Newton's laws and Charles' laws, that's not everything. Still, we have to understand the physical world much better. We don't know how many things happen. Still, we are trying to, even the simple things like radiation, whether it is a particle or a wave, still being debated. So we don't know. In fact, some people say, even I highly believe, I also believe, the mass and the energy are interchangeable. Already we are seeing you can convert mass into energy using nuclear fission. And you can convert energy into mass by creating a God item, God particle. It's possible. So you are saying if energy and mass are interchangeable totally, tomorrow, what is mass? What is a matter? So there is no matter. A matter is only a bunch of energy. It looks very crazy. How can I am a human being? I got mass, I got a matter. How can it be only energy? I have to be life, So people are trying to still understand the matter and energy, whether it is really, is it so? Matter and energy are interchangeable. This is what the debate is going on. Maybe one day slowly it will be cracked. So we are trying to, I have read a book of Ridjoff. It's very mind-boggling concepts he has talked about. The whole world may be turning point, may go to turning point. We have to understand life better. We understand our own mind better, how the brain works. In fact, Bangalore, there is a brain research center. People are trying to understand what happens inside the brain. Inside the brain is such a complex. And because we want to understand, because we want to do what brain can do, what mind they can do. I want to do using a computer. Recently, I saw a demonstration of one machine they say, now you think in your mind. What you think, I will try to put in on the computer. That is, I will read your mind. You simply go on thinking something. Then I will I will display on the computer display what you are thinking. That means I want to read your mind without you opening the mouth. I will read your mind by following or tracking your brain wave. What happened inside the brain, outside the brain. I will put sensors, I will catch brain waves and interpret and tell you what your brain is thinking. I will put words to it. So people are trying to do such a level of understanding of your own brain, your own mind. They would like to see without you talking. This is becoming the requirement is some people have become they are unable to talk due to some accident. So they are unable to use their hands. They can't write, but they can only their brain is working. They can't talk. They can't write. So they want to communicate through the brain that I want a cup of coffee. The person in in a bed or in a wheelchair wants to tell you that I want a cup of coffee. No, he wants to only say in his brain that I want a cup of coffee. You should be able to read it, decode it, and give him a cup of coffee. This is what future wants. Future people want to say, can you communicate one brain wave and some will receive another brain wave? Do it. This is research going on. So people are trying to do such things also. We are in such a sophisticated, but in all these fields, we are still in a embryonic stage. We may be 100 years away, things will change. But we have to live next 100 years safely, peacefully, happily. How to do it? This is the theme of my talk. So stress is not merely physical, not just your muscles are stressed, your brains are stressed, your mind is restless. Your emotions are restless. They are continuously upset just to take place. Your emotions. Your psychological conflicts are all the time happening inside your mind, inside your brain. You may be looking peaceful, happy, but inside there are a lot of fight going on, fight conflict going on. Then how do we do it? But how do you meet this challenge of stress, the multidimensional challenge? How do you meet it? So what is the way out? The science and technology, what the world has developed, has not succeeded in tackling the problem of stress. This is the reality. We have to find as an Indian, with Indian knowledge system, Indian way of thinking, Indian culture, Indian system, how do we find a solution for this stressful world? Can yoga and spirituality give you the answer? This is what we are trying to look at it. We have done a lot of thinking, discussion, debates, workshops, research. Can I use yoga and spirituality and achieve peace and wealthy happiness, which I am not able to get from equipment, technology, medicine, and money? I am getting all four, but I want to get peace and happiness. How do I get it? So this part I will be talking about how to reach this. Now, fortunately, we have people who have understood Vedas, Vedic knowledge, how our ancestors have taught us to live peacefully, happily, even though they were living in a jungle, but they are able to think of life and tell you how to live in future. There is a treasure. India is a treasure house of knowledge. We had the universities which were propagating knowledge 1,000 years ago. All the Nalanda, Takshashila universities, which were talking about peace, knowledge, rituals to keep you happy. And the whole world used to come to India to learn it. We have lost it. That's a different matter. We had Upanishads where whatever you have a doubt, there is an answer. So we have Indian knowledge system. It's a treasure house. Let us use that knowledge system and find peace and happiness. So the yoga is one tool. Fortunately, we have understood yoga principles reasonably well understood. It concretizes whatever Upanishads have told, the wisdom of Upanishads in our day-to-day life. I am want to live a yogic life in my day-to-day life. I may go to the IT company, get up in the morning, go, come back in the evening. IT work I do, but I do IT work in a yogic way. I do my exercise in a yogic way. I do eating and interaction with the world in a yogic way. I will live peacefully. This is what I want to tell how to do it. Then can I get any systematic practices, simple practices, coupled with understanding inside and used synergistically. I use it so that I live peacefully, happily, irrespective of how much I have got, wealth and physical comforts. So when I say yoga, what is it? It is not a rope trick. You can't that simply take 1 hour online class and learn yoga. You have to take seriously, and it's not a magic by wand, by one of the magic wands. I can tell you what is yoga. It is not a siddhi. You can get spirituality by closing your eyes and doing mantras. It is not just you do asanas, acrobatics. You would have so many types of asanas are there. So you list asanas 1 to 10 or 1 to 100 and go on doing asanas. No, that won't give you. It's not just breathing, pranayama only, yoga. It is a system of life which is integrated into yoga. All put together, it has to be done in a very systematic way. Then only you will be learning yogic way of life. And not everybody has succeeded, but many have succeeded in life who are lived like this. Many people, I have seen them living in a yogic way. Now you look at yoga, it's a way of life. Yoga is a way of life. It's a conscious process. You have to consciously understand how to live yogic life so that Vivekananda said it is a conscious process for accelerating growth of your mind. It's one way of looking at it. Pure consciousness, you will get a moksha or a freedom from. You become a Superman, you will learn how to live a divine being. This is the stages of life. And you can all achieve this stages one by one. Simple way if you follow what we are going to share with you. Yoga is to gain mastery of the body. It's not the mastery of only the body. Yoga is to gain mastery over the mind. It is not only concentration. You see, you have heard of so many yogis. You open a yogi list of yogis, you will get a big list. Everybody claims I am a yogi. And they will give you lecture, they will give you bhashan, they will give you demonstration. Can we call all those as yogis? I don't know. But are they stress free? Are they happy? If they are satisfied, they will not have any aspiration. This is what it is. So it is a mastery of over the mind. Your mind is very fickle minded, but you are able to have a mastery of the mind and say, I will control my mind. It is one method of calming down the mind. So your mind is always perturbed. Is a high. You are jumping from one end to another end. But it has to be understood. It has to be calmed. Your mind should be in peace, eternal peace. It should not be fluctuating. Your blood pressure should be low and comfortable. Your neural activity should be very small and not worked up. And then your system, various physical systems inside the body are working healthily. You want to see everything like that. Now you see, it's a multi-dimensional mechanism, yoga. It is the physical, mental, emotional, intellectual. We have to see that all four is happening. And once you are able to understand each one, how physically I am able to understand my body, how I understand my mind, my brain, how I can control my emotions, how my intellectual activity, I know when to use, when not to use, when to talk, when not to talk, when to shout, when not to shout, how to understand the mind of my peers who are in front of me, who are going to work with me. This is multi-dimensional. We should know how to make it happen. And that this provides an answer. If you can get all four, then that will give you an answer how to handle your stressful life. That is, the answer will come the day you are able to understand the multi dimensions of your physical capabilities, your mental capabilities, your emotional capabilities, your intellectual capabilities, and how to control each one of them. How to control each one of them to give you blissful life. So concretization of these principles, we are, of course, we call it as a self-management of excessive tension, or a life management of tension, or life management of life, whatever way you call it. It is, the idea is you are in a very stressful world, how to manage a good life, enjoy your life. Keep healthy, keep happy, keep peaceful. So we are running this 5 day for all special executives. We are running regularly 5 days. We want, for example, people who are senior supervisory or senior manager level. We have invited them. Come and stay with us 5 days. Stay here and live with us, eat with us, and then interact with us, do some yoga exercises, do some pranayama exercises, eat food. Don't use your mobile for 1 week, 5 days. Keep yourself. Think yourself. Go inside your mind. Go inside your spirituality. And 5 days you live. And hopefully it will give you the way you will live in future. So that you will overcome all the stresses and live peacefully. This is what we have worked out a sort of a suite, worked out a small 5 day module. We will request all people who are stressed, young students, people in the police, people in the military, people in managers, people in academy, professors, people in doctors, nurses, army people, everybody we have asked them, please come. People working, doing in science and technology, researchers, please come, go through 5 day, then that will tell you how to live your future life. This is what we are trying to do. We have a 5 day program, but I will tell you what is the content so that you will know how it is likely to influence you. See, people also have deep relaxation. People say you can do. There are the methods of deep relaxation. That is 5 to 6 minutes. How to relax yourself, or a quick relaxation, just 3 minutes, or instant like 1 minute if you don't have. So we give 3 stages. So depending on how busy you are, suppose you have got reasonable time, take a few minutes off take deep relaxation technique. We'll tell you how to do it. Or you don't have even 10 minutes, I don't have, I have only a few minutes. Can you tell me what I can do? Okay. I'll tell you, even then, quick relaxation. You are going to go for exam. Before going exam, can you spare 3 minutes? Yes. I'll tell you how. Or instant relax, only 1 minute. I have only 1 minute. Can you tell me? Yes. We'll tell you how to do instant relax. So there are three methods of relaxation. So we will tell you how to do it. And many people having gone through are able to learn very easily these relaxation techniques. Then comes relaxation technique. We call it as a IRT, QRT, DRT, MSRT. There are various small techniques. The way we will allow you to learn the tricks, not tricks, learn how to control your body, mind, thinking, brain, heart, everything. Together you control. And either you lie down or you sit down or you on a sofa or a chair or lie down. You can switch off the light if you want. But how do you go through this? For example, every day before I sleep, I do a quick relaxation technique for just 1 or 2 minutes. And I see that sleep, the quality of sleep I get if I do it is totally different from the quality of sleep I get if I do not do it. I just watch a movie or say hear some songs and go to sleep. The type of quality of sleep is different. This is my personal experience. That's what we will tell you these various relaxation techniques in life. Now, for example, see, people say, I have 8 hours sleep, 10 hours sleep. But when I get up in the morning, still I feel lousy. People say, oh, I had a long sleep, I am feeling lousy. Let me have a hot cup of coffee. Like that, people have a long sleep. Some people think they don't know the difference between a restful sleep and a long sleep. They think they had a long sleep, I had 8 hours sleep, you have an alarm clock, put it after 8 hours, the clock rings, you get up, oh, I have full 8 hours sleep. But actually, you might have been lying down 8 hours, but you are not slept. You might have counted 8 hours. Alarm will ring, but your brain may be all the time busy, active. It is all the time wandering all over. And therefore, when you get up, you think you are not fully rested. See, there's a difference between a deep rest and a sleep. Sometimes, even a small few minutes of a deep rest makes a big difference. So that's one method of telling how a deep rest will influence your life. When compared to a good sleep, you may have a sleep for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, but you have not rested. Your body might have lying down, but your mind has not rested. Your mind was wandering. You went on seeing dreams after dreams, and dreams have more than perturbing you. Instead of having peaceful, you have dreams which are very violent or very disturbing dreams you have got. That is not going to give you good sleep. So, how do you make difference between a deep rest and a good sleep? For example, the brain functioning, we have done we have done research here. We are trying to make people sleep in a room. We have done research to understand how your brain works when you are sleeping. And when you give the people a good food and then good climate in the sense of light, dim light, and then say you please sleep. And many people have slept. And during the person is sleeping, we are monitoring how your brain is active. Is you are sleeping, you may be snoring. Is your brain active? What is the level of brain activity? So we monitor the brain activity. We have a method of monitoring the brain activity even when you are sleeping. So we use the brain activity both It may be wireless or it may be wired activity, it may be radiation, it may be many methods are there to monitor how your brain is active when you are sleeping. Your eyes are closed, your heart rate has come down, but brain activity is still very active. Only your heart rate has come down. Your pulse rate is low. You are sleeping. Your eyes are closed, and you are not able to hear anything. Even when a small ring comes, you cannot even make out that you got a ring. You are sleeping, correct? But your brain is fully active. Brain is so active that when you wake up, you feel you are restless. That is what we are able to understand. Therefore, we try to give a method of making your brain restful. That is, after you get up, you should feel I am fully rested. So this what we have done in the SMET is it enhances a positive health. You know, because we have used this SMET, some basis we have got. It will give you prevention of your negative feelings. It will give you a rehabilitation effect, and it will give you a positive health effect. All the three happening because of the what we are trying to teach you and allow you. Not telling we are not going to teach anything. We will allow you to yourself feel it, yourself understand it, yourself learn it, yourself do it and enjoy. This is what we want. We are not going to give big lectures. We will say, please come stay with us and then go happy. After 5 days, you go happy, more healthy, more peaceful, and you feel that I know how to live in future happily, peacefully myself. This is what is our intention. Now, you how to stimulate your mind, and then it should see that it should relax and calm down from distraction. Suppose your mind is not able to relax and calm down, I will say, okay, how I will make your mind, your brain stimulate such a way that you can come down to most restful state of your brain, most restful state. How to bring it to that level? Because I know I have, when I go, I am doing some research on energy in my lab. So when I do work for 8 hours, I talk to my students, my research, so many problems they face, instrumentation, hardware, temperature. So I go on addressing the issues, discussing with them. So when I go home, when I want to sleep, these things are still working in my mind. My brain is all the time thinking, why is working, why is not working, why this problem is not, I am not able to understand. I am not able to sleep peacefully. It is still working. And I used to work in a missile system, missile system very complex. So will test a missile system in a Balasore range. And sometimes a missile will not fly properly. There is a failure. Or a missile will explode in the air. Imagine when I go home, when I want to sleep, I cannot sleep because my mind is seeing still the picture of missile explosion. What went wrong? Where we have done a mistake? Now I am doing research. I'm thinking, what would have gone wrong? Why I am not able to get what I want? So the mind is continuously busy. So I can't sleep. If I can't sleep on the night, next day morning, how do I work? How do I think differently? So that makes it worse. So one night I can't sleep, 2 nights I cannot sleep because of my problem. Then my efficiency comes down. My restlessness goes up. My problem become multiple. Instead of finding solution, I will be confused. So I should know how to calm down my brain, my mind from distractions. Recognize the deep-rooted stresses of research, what I am doing, financial problems I am facing, or stresses of the family. How do I control and the deep-rooted stresses? How do I release them? I should go peacefully. What makes me do that? And I have to reach such a stability, I will not get disturbed. Even if I go to work tomorrow, there are a lot of research problems. The people come and tell me. Or financial problem, you go home, your wife will tell me so many difficulties. Or if a student, your son will tell, I have so many, how will I handle? You should not get disturbed. You should know how to handle it peacefully, correctly, and efficiently. This is what your yogic way and what we do in a 5-day program, we believe will enable you to do it. This is what we demonstrate to you over 5 days. See, if you look at normally, I told you 6 hours of sleep, 8 hours. Normally, it takes 6 hours, the metabolism rate, the way the heart rate will slowly come down, the blood pressures will slowly come down, breathing rate will slowly settle down, your brain activity will slowly come down. If you look at it takes quite some time for each of the activities slowly come, and after about half an hour to 45 minutes, slowly it will come to some level. This is what happened. And then you sleep for 6 hours peacefully. This is what happens. But if you do what we, the way we teach, what it takes so many hours, yeah, it will just a few minutes how to reach the similar state. This is what we want to demonstrate to you, allow you to yourself feel it and yourself learn it. I'll tell you, see, once you are able to see, you may be hearing many people who have done many things in life. They say, for me, 4 hours of sleep is sufficient. I am fully charged. Some people say 8 hours is minimum I require. 10 hours. People say, no, you elderly people, you read 9 hours, 10 hours of sleep. Some people say 8 hours you have sleep. And some people say 4 hours sufficient. I am happy. Yeah, I sleep at 2 o'clock, get up at 6 o'clock, I'm fully alert. Some people will say, I 8 hours I sleep, I am not alert. But here we see that even if you sleep for, can you sleep for only few minutes? But the effect is as good as 9 hours. Is it possible? Can we do it? If not permanently, at least under stress, can you do it? We want to tell you how effectively you can do even if a number of hours available to you for taking rest, for sleeping is small. Maybe 1 hour, maybe half an hour. Even then, can we manage without having effect on my body, on my health, on my stress level? Can I do it? This is what we want to tell you. Then we will allow you to do it and feel it and learn yourself. So because we see executives, their effectiveness will fall if they are not fully rested, mind and body. They will be facing challenges, there will be failures. You can't help it. In a life, when you try something, failure. Then management crisis will come. Your boss will change. They say you can't choose your boss. You can choose your subordinates. You can't choose who is your boss, you don't know. Suddenly your boss will change. New management crisis will come. The boss will start demanding so many things which you are not prepared for. Then work-life balance. Everybody is feeling. You have to work very hard. You go to work. You have to, whether you are a man or a woman, you have to work in life. You have to earn your living, you have to earn your name, you have to earn your professional competence, professional satisfaction. That is work. You have to work. All people have to work. But you also have a life. You want to eat peacefully, sleep peacefully, go for relaxation, meet your friends, have a social circle, go for a tour, and go for a peaceful exercise or a sports or listen to some good music. So you have your own life. but you have got your work. How to balance it? See, work-life balance is a big challenge. How do I work-life balance I do? Unless you will learn it, you can manage. So this is a standard work-life balance issue that all of us are facing. So we should see how to do this work-life balancing. And we hope that going through us for 5 days will help you to learn how to do work-life balancing, how to handle your challenge, your failures, your management issues, crisis, and your performance as a top executive. So this is what I thought I will tell you how to do it. So in fact, I don't know whether are you, if anybody is having any question, I would like to invite, I want to allow some time for you to ask some questions. If anybody has any question, I will be happy to answer the question. I will tell you because I have gone through myself this kind of a course, 5-day course, and I have benefited myself. So, in case any student or any faculty member or any person has any question, can anybody? I don't know whether I am able to. Are you able to hear? Any one of you can take?
Dulal Shivam,
You are audible.
I want to keep some time for any questions you are having. Dr. Shampada Mukherjee or any of the faculty members or any of them, you are having any question, any doubt, then I can clarify because I have gone through this myself, I told you, because I was a project director of a missile system and when I worked with Dr. Kalam, I used to go through a lot of stressful life and because of failures, challenges, system not working, the army is asking questions, the air force is asking questions. I used to go through a lot of stressful life. Then I do research. I have problem of research not working. So I used to have to find answer. So I came to Yoga University. I learned this how to handle the stresses. Then I learned many things, and I should say that I cannot say I have mastered, but I am able to live peacefully, sleep peacefully, and withstand the stresses of family problems, work-life balancing. I can do, and I wish all of you who are having your own challenges in life, maybe education, maybe profession, maybe neighborhood. You know, sometimes you are living, I am living in an apartment, and the lot of stresses come because of my other people who live in the apartment. They are not my relatives, they are not my friends, they are owners of other apartments. But they give so much of stresses for you. For no reason, you are having a stressful life. How to handle that? So this is what is the life. So now, if I am open to any question, anybody has any question, you can raise your hand, or you can send a question, or you can talk orally. Also, I am ready to clarify. So the floor is open. If somebody wants to ask any question, please.
Dulal Shivam, do you have any question? You have raised hand. Dulal Shivam.
Dr. Shyam Prasad, Dr. Mukherjee is there. Good.
No, sir, actually one person has raised hand. Dulal Shivam. Dulal
Yeah,
Shivam.
yeah. Please ask your question.
So, sir, actually, myself, Dr. Mukherjee.
Yeah, Mukherjee.
Sir.
I am hearing only thank you, but I am not hearing question. So you ask Dr. Mukherjee.
I have many questions, sir.
Yeah.
One question regarding that you are saying regarding the 5-day course, 5-day. So what is that like? We need to go to Bangalore, that university.
Yeah. What we have made a 5-day program where you come and join, and we have a place to live. You live, and early morning we will you come get up, and then you go through some small exercises, and interaction with the yoga masters. Then we'll give you healthy breakfast. Then we'll allow you to interact with your colleagues, and somebody like me will come and tell you how to do correctly certain minimum asanas. Then have your lunch break. Then after lunch, we allow you to take rest. At that time, we'll tell you how to sleep peacefully. Then evening, we'll allow you to have some games. Then evening again, we'll have you to hear some music. Then no, like that, 5 days we allow you to. Then we will say you yourself will learn how to do your own pranayama, your own yoga, your own sleep control, and then tell me how you are feeling better. Are you feeling better after this 3 day, every day? See, third day how you feel, fourth day how you feel, fifth day. Then you tell us how you felt on fifth day. We will allow you to talk and say how you felt, where you felt, how you are feeling better. So we will allow you to speak. So this is what happens. So your food also we will control the food. Give a sattvic food for 5 days, and then give you. We'll request you not to use mobile as much as possible, minimum mobile use, and then we allow you to talk to each other. Sessions we allow, mutual sessions. Like that, we have some intelligent way of handling. So we will request you to stay for 5 days. Though people want to go home and come back every day, but we will advise you for 5 days you stay, we'll give you accommodation, food, everything. And many times, we are asking both husband and wife to come and stay together. We allow you can come with your wife or husband. Both of you can stay and both of you can go through together also. That's also possible. It's not that only you come, you can come, both of you, stay together, sleep, work together and understand together. And also that's also allowed. We can allow husband and wife also to come. So this is what we
what
have.
is the procedure of registering for this course?
Yeah, on the site is there, website is there, our website is there. People can come and join the course website, or you can send me my mail ID you're having. You send me mail, I can send you answer. Allow you to book yourself. And it is for young people, we have old people, your parents, grandparents can come. For example, my uncle was there. He was stressed because he was overweight, and he was having diabetes and overweight. So he was highly stressed. So he lives in a village, but still he was not able to control. So I advised him, you come and stay here. And I put him in a room and advised him to stay for 5 days. And he went through 5 day program in SMET. But life management, how to manage your life. And after 5 days, he says he is definitely he is able to see he was not able to walk even 10 steps when he joined. Now every day he goes for an evening walk, morning walk, and his weight is controlled, his weight is reduced, and he is able to do. And he says, once in 3 months, I want to come stay for 5 days. He tells me, I want to come 5 days because he says, once I have been living, he's living in a city now, in a building, apartment. So he says, sometimes I cannot do what I want to do. I want to come for 5 days, stay and then go back. Then I will happy for next for 3 to 6 months. I don't mind. So he said, you do decide what you want. But this is my own uncle. He went through that. He is a little bit happy. So you have to stay. You can. My website is there. Your SVASA University website. You go. Send to my mail ID. I will respond immediately.
But can we take my child with us?
See, if you have a child, I will check up because child. If you are busy, how your child? What is the age? What is the age?
I think 14 plus.
14 plus we have a see you got two options. You got two options. For a 14-year-old child, we have a option of keeping them for 1 week or 10 days. We have an option. There are modules. the child can separately, we tell them life management for a child separately. One option. Second option is you bring your child with you, child will become busy separately. Both are possible. So for a child, we have a life management for child separately. Send your child, they stay with other children in the campus. We have a campus, they live, they eat, they play with other children for one week to 2 weeks. We take life management, we teach them. Or for you with your child, husband, wife and child, we can arrange separately. Both are possible. You can decide both. Both modes are possible. That is parents separately, child separately, parents and child together also possible.
So, sir, this program runs the entire year.
See, no, for both you have to give advance notice because we cannot, we have to group, we have to batch, we have to make a batch of at least 15, 20 people. We will do that. If you write to me that I want in this time period, we will arrange a talk to there is a manager who does the management. We will tell you what slot available to you, when you can come, you, your child together or separately, I will arrange. Not a problem.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I am seeing going to the chat. I am not finding any. Kindly share the PPT. I will share with you, Pukharji. I will share the PPT.
Okay, sir.
You can share with any of the members. No problem.
Yes, sir.
I will share with you so that all members of your course can go through it and then come. Yeah, no problem. I will send a copy, soft copy.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, good.
Hello.
So, sir, I
Yeah.
think everybody
Namaste,
has
sir.
learned many things, and this is hello.
Sir, somebody asked a question. Priyanka.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
please ask.
I'm
Yeah, Priyanka.
Thank you for the wonderful session. I had attended the on live in my entire career, and this is the kind of opportunity that I got through this FDP program. And for the first thing, I would like to inform you that I am based in Bangalore. I'm working in a Bangalore college. So I have already searched the Vyasa University and its courses, how to come to this 5 days program which you are talking about right now. So I'll be definitely coming with my husband to attend the program and have a good life management skill as well. And
Sure.
thank you for giving us this opportunity in attending and in interacting with you today. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
I'm already
Priyanka. You are
booked,
most welcome. Please write to me. My mail ID is with Mukherjee. He will share with you my PPT and mail ID. Kindly write to me and come.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Priyanka. All the best.
I actually asked because I have a plan to visit Bangalore
Please.
next month, so that's
Oh.
why I asked.
Oh, come. Please come.
And
I'll be very happy. In fact, I told you I want to come to Silchar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Obviously, if the situation goes normal, then I will
Yeah.
inform you.
Good. Okay, sure.
Okay, and I want to personally meet you.
Sure. Please come. Okay, good.
Sir,
Very
even
nice.
we are willing to meet you personally in this summit. What you are looking,
Please.
what we are looking after.
Sure. Please come. We'll show you some interesting things. Both yoga driven and non-yoga, both will show you.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I am Sujipriya from Sona College of Technology, Salem, Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
Sir, is there any meditation will be taught there, sir, in the course?
Yeah. In the 5 day, we will teach you meditation also. Meditation will also teach you, pranayama will teach you, yoga will teach you. Plus, we will teach you how to relax body, mind together. All will be integrated.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Morning till
one more thing
evening,
I would like to.
You will be kept engaged.
Okay, sir, I would like to inform you one more thing.
Yeah.
Clearly that my sister-in-law, she is
Sorry, your voice was cut. Was it Priyanka was talking about sister-in-law?
Yes, sir. My sister-in-law, her name is Priyanka itself. He is working currently in Mindtree company, and he is 90% disabled. And my family is supporting her in all terms to be in working place. So uh, my my husband, who is working in Bharat Electronics Limited as a manager, even we as a couple, husband wife, as a brother and sister-in-law, we wanted her to attend this event where we are in Bangalore, and we would like I expect you to meet her once, because she is the one who is working since 10 years in this IT field as a module lead in the Mindtree company, which was currently acquired by L&T Infotech. This where she is working, and she is donating her salary, and she has donated a computer lab to a school where she studied. She has studied in a government school where she were not allowed in any other school, where she couldn't study in other schools, where she couldn't go to school also. But she studied engineering in computer science. She's from Mandya. She's from PES College, Mandya. She studied, and she is very caliber human being. If I expect you to interact with her once, so that if I could have your WhatsApp number, I can make her to interact with you. So she couldn't come out due to COVID situation, though she is vaccinated.
Okay.
Can you just give me that? It will be a very grateful opportunity, and she will be very much happy to interact with you.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay. What I will do, of course, I have sent you WhatsApp number in the chat box. I sent you WhatsApp number in the chat box. Anybody can send me WhatsApp message. Plus, of course, Champada Mukherjee also has my number. No problem. You can ask him. He will share. But I have I sent you through chat box. You can note down my number and send it. I'll be happy to meet you, your sister, both, no problem. I am coming every day to the yoga campus.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes,
Welcome. Okay, okay. Thank you, Priyanka. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. I have your number. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody else? Please ask question if you have.
I think no more questions, no? Shambhala?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Very nice.
So, sir, thank you very much for spending your valuable time with us. We learned a lot of things, because this is very important. Most of the important part of our life, like management and all, like everybody is having wealth and many other things. But with that, we have this stress also. So how to manage this?
Yeah, correct. It's a part of life. We should know how to learn, how to live happily. So I am convinced that all of us should be leading a life better. If you can spend every day. See, the whole thing, if you want to lead it, you don't need more than a few minutes every day. But it will give you peace and a yogic way of looking at life. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank everybody. I wish all the participants all the best of their life. And whenever you come to Bangalore, please call me and come and meet me. I'll be very happy.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I will send my mail ID also in case some people doesn't have, but I will send you.
Yes.
I have send my mail ID also through chat box. You can you can note down and send it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, Sampata Mukherjee, and all the best for all the participants. May
Thank
God bless you. All the best. Bye.
Bye.
So shall I sign off, Sampada?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So, dear participants, now we have next session from 3 o'clock with Professor Bodhisattva Mujumdar from IIT Indore. So, for timing, we have recess for lunch and all. So, you can sign up now and leave the meeting. Thank you.